taking my time, I've been taking my time. Taking all of your time, taking all of your time. We've been talking about it for a while. Before we take a chance and do it, before we looking back as foolish. We've been talking about it for a while. Before we take a chance and do it, before we looking back as foolish. We got me floating, and I can take it. We got me floating, and I can't take it. We got me floating, and I can take it. We got me floating, and I can't take it. I've been taking my time, I've been taking my time. Taking all of your time, taking all of your time. I've been taking my time, I've been taking my time. Taking all of your time, taking all of your time. We got me floating, and I can take it. We got me floating, and I can't take it. We got me floating, and I can take it. We got me floating, and I can't take it. I've been taking my time, I've been taking my time. Taking all of your time, taking all of your time. I've been taking my time, I've been taking my time. Taking all of your time, taking all of your time.
Hey trendies, my trendsetters and my trendy tribe. How are y'all doing? I hope y'all are ready for our first together live reaction. I think it's going to be fun. So, hey, Veronica Monroe. I don't know if she came back in yet, but hey, early bird. Hey, Professor Demita Joe. Hi, lovely Linda Gamble. Hey, Shan. Thank you for being here, Shan. Hey, Miss Cheryl. Good to see you. Good to see you. Glad you are here. I will go ahead and give a couple minutes to see how many people we can get in before we start because, once we start, it's live reaction. So we'll just be going. So the way I saw it going was I'm going to play it. This is a Make It Make Sense's interview of Allison, which is Drew Sidora's sister. And, Courtney and Kandi were speaking on Allison, as well as I think Ralph at a different time was speaking on Allison. So Allison actually MIMS got an exclusive interview with Allison. So we're going to watch. Well, technically, we're listening to the interview because my gut told me don't play the video and audio. So I have audio, but it's clear audio. Hopefully, StreamYard does not boot me and I don't have to find where we stop. But it's going to be crystal clear audio. And we're just going to stop it and go over some things as it happens. So we're not going to do the whole thing without stopping it. So that way it'll be a true reaction. And yeah, we're just going to discuss some things that he and Allison talk about. Hey, Veronica. So that's how I see it going. So thank you again to my trendy tribe. We got Virgo Lips coming up this Saturday for Sketchy Saturday. What else do we have going on? Let me see. I need to catch up with Sean. That's when every time I'm on live, that's when I think about it. So I'm gonna do it now while I'm waiting to see who else come in here. Let me see if I have Sean's Instagram. I haven't seen her in a while. I don't think so unless she goes under a different name. She might go under a different name. Okay. Well, I wanted to verify with Sean first when she wanted to tell her story. So it's Sean and then it's Sylvia. that are going to tell their stories. So Sean was, I think, up next. So I just wanted to be sure before. So if I don't hear from Sean, we'll go ahead and do our normal freeform Friday, where we just talk about all the random things and trending topics. And then we have our sketchy Saturday. And next Friday, we'll see if we have somebody scheduled to tell their story and share their story with us. Yes. Okay. So let me go ahead and set us up here. What we got? Is this it? Yeah, I think that's it. I was in there playing around in Canva. Yep. Okay.
You have some
Oh,
clips.
don't start. Okay, there we go. Oops. All right. So, hey, y'all. Welcome. So, we are going to start on the reaction to Allison's interview with Make It Make Sense. We will stop and talk and chat and all the goodness. So, I will be looking at your comments as we play this, but I definitely wanted to get firsthand what she was saying in response to what was said about her. All right. So, we're going to get started. StreamYard, don't boot me. Do not boot me, StreamYard.
So
okay. Roll that beam footage.
I want this to be a fun interview, right? So we're going to touch on some serious topics, but overall, I want this to be fun. What I wanted from Allison from the beginning was an interview where Allison kind of talked about Allison, because her story was extremely interesting to me. And the fact like she doesn't like take anything from anybody was also very intriguing. And then when I found out about how upfront she was with her mental health, and she was an advocate for other people to seek treatment if they feel that they need it, I really connected with Allison. In the comments, because y'all know I'm shady but fair, in the comments, Allison actually reached out to me and said I had a point. And then I was like, okay, I like
Make it make sense. You made it. Yeah. And I do. I think, you know, when you start talking about mental health, and I know we're going to get into it, you know, we have to make it as normal as possible. We should not be ashamed and just not talk about it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you're authentic and we can get into it. Let's get into it.
All right. So we're going to play the intro first, because this is going to be a fun interview. So we're going to play the intro first. While the intro is playing, if you're new to the channel, like and subscribe. I don't really ask anybody for any money, but I definitely say, please hit that like button. It lets YouTube know we are live, and it's going to get Allison's word out. So here we go. Don't laugh at my intro. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I want to make it make one.
So I'm going to start off with a hardball question, because the people want to know. And, you know, around here, the straight shooters, we're not want to gossip much. Are you Drew's mother?
Oh gosh, you know what's so funny? I see a lot of that. Like there's like this whole site where they have this whole theory, and everybody's like, yeah, you know, Drew came out of my mama's vagina. Okay, she was pregnant. Matter of fact, my mama would tell you I was mad when she got pregnant with Drew.
Okay. That was a question that I had. Can y'all hear me? I think y'all can hear me. I better make sure though. Can y'all hear me? I'm double checking. Let me know if you can. Oh, okay. Shan says she can hear me. Okay. So yeah, I was, you know, did y'all hear that theory before about Drew possibly being Allison's daughter because they came from such a religious family and they look so much alike, which of course siblings can look alike too, but that was a strong theory that was out there, especially how many years apart they are. Hey, CDW, welcome. So did y'all hear about that? And did y'all think Drew possibly could have been her daughter? I heard about it. I was like, I don't know. I mean, like anything in life is possible, but I was like, I don't know. But okay, he did. Okay, MIMS starting off strong. That's a good question, because a lot of people did have that question. Okay. All right, I'm gonna keep it going. And for anybody that just came in, we're technically listening, but I called it watch along. We're listening to Mims and Allison's interview to get Allison's stance on what was said about her. That's Drew Sidora's sister. My aunt had a baby when my cousin was 25. Oh Lord. Gotcha. All right, y'all. Here we go.
Because I just saw my whole life being a babysitter. So I was like, y'all, wait a minute, y'all still doing it, first of all. And then you're pregnant? Yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to babysit. And I didn't even talk to my mom a lot when she was pregnant with Drew, because it was kind of like yucky, being like 20 something years old. And your mom's like, we were like, is that an oopsie? But no, Drew and I have the same mother and we have the same father. It's 5 of us. And actually, we would have had a younger brother after Drew. His name was Emil, but he died in childbirth. So, and we have a younger sister named Edila. So we're like A, B, C, D, E. Allison, Brian, Krista, Drew, Edila. And it would have been Emil. So no, I'm not her mother. Although I'm old enough to be her mother. Because some people were like, she old. I am very old and old enough to be her mother.
Oh, my sisters are like older than me. One is technically old enough to be my mom, and she doesn't let me forget it.
I am. I changed her diaper. I always tell Drew, am I saying to her when she be trying to try me, I'll be like, I lived your life, then I lived it again. I lived it twice. That's how old I am. I'm twice your age. So no.
Drew does say that you do have more of a motherly, like, business role than sisterly role with her. She mentioned that on the show.
Yeah, well, she lived with me. I was in LA. I went out to Los Angeles when I was young, in my 20s. And she came out there because she was, a young actor. And she lived with me. Matter of fact, I took her to a bunch of parties. She was learning how to work the room and network. So she's been with me since she was 9 years old. She came out to live. And my mom would come, pop in, stay a month or two and leave, but.
Okay. Yep. Because, Allison has been Drew's manager since she, like a child actress. She's been Drew's manager. And I don't know if all of y'all knew about Allison's background. And I'm almost sure Mims will go over her background, but she's definitely been in the entertainment industry strong. She was working on like The Rock. It was not The Rock, but she was working on a show called Rock. She had a lot of shows. I didn't keep the list. Hey, Charlie, do not call me Dominique. Call me Charlie. Hey. I can see that though. It's not uncommon even now. I was in the military when my youngest brother was born. Ooh. Ooh, Shan. I thought me and my brother were far apart, which we're not, in comparison to a lot of people. We're only 6 years apart, but golly, I was like, y'all waited too long. That's crazy. At least he and I did get to grow up together some. Okay. All right. Going back to the interview.
Pretty much she's been a working actor since she was a little girl. And I've been managing her.
What I don't think the average RHOA fan knows about Allison is she has an extensive resume. So before we get into the mess, Allison was like, oh, I don't want to really make this about me. Allison doesn't really have a choice. Allison, run down this list of us. Like, you have done some major things in the business.
Ooh, I don't even know. Let's see. I started, my life in entertainment industry in Chicago, working for my mentor, who is Sasha Dalton, who actually created the Gospel Festival. And so I learned from her, working under Mayor Washington, how to do events. So I did a lot of that in Chicago before going to Hollywood and working for Johnny Carson Productions. I don't know what your crowd is, but Johnny Carson Productions had an overall deal with NBC and on a show called Amen with Sherman Hemsley. And and so like Clifton Davis is like my uncle. He's very good friends with my mom and my dad. And we really went out there for my godbrother's wedding. And then I got hired on the show. And like everybody, I started off as a production assistant and I worked my way up. And then I worked on a show called Rock with Charles Dutton.
That was one of my mom's favorite shows.
All I can think about with the Amen show, I used to watch reruns. All I can think about the last part, that shine, Was it shine on me, shine on me? She's so accomplished, Sylvia. She sure is, and we will not let old bobblehead Courtney reduce her to having things that many people have as far as mental health instances that they're dealing with. She will not be reduced. I'm so glad MIMS interviewed her. It's on Tubi. It's on Amen's on Tubi. Yes, that was one of them. Oh my gosh, I stayed on those channels. I'm not trying to say anything because I'm getting to the point where people are saying the same thing about stuff I grew up watching, but the channels that like my parents, like they would watch the TV Land type channels and stuff, I stayed over there, lived over there. That's why I love some Golden Girls to this day. Although now the theme song, of course, is I can't remember his name. I should, because everybody does give him his credit, which I appreciate. But now it's the new Golden Girls theme, not the old song. But I like both. But I love his rendition. But yes, I love me some Golden Girls. Yes, Amen is also on Cozy TV. I like that name. I like that channel name, Cozy TV. Yes. Yeah. And see, I knew about Sherman Hemsley on Amen, and then I went back and saw that he was on Moving On Up. What is the what is that show called? Friend Allison was inserting herself though. She kept running up on Courtney. Oh, see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I probably would run up on Courtney on behalf of my sibling too. I ain't gonna lie to you, Shan. I ain't gonna lie to you. And look, Shan, I'm wholly biased against Courtney. Wholly biased. Telling you that now. I have no grace for Courtney. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't. Hey, Leo sister, live, laugh, love. How are you doing? We just started. We're going through her resume, through Allison's resume right now. The Jeffersons, yeah. Moving on up to the east side. Yes. The Jeffersons. Cause see, I never got to see All in the Family. I didn't see that one. But was he a spinoff from All in the Family? Because a lot of good shows came from spinoffs. Like I heard Family Matters came from the show that one of my Golden Girls was on. I don't know that show name. I'm sorry. But Family Matters was a spinoff to follow Harriet. And then a lot of good shows like Frasier spun off of Cheers. I love a good spinoff when they just seem like they should have been their own show the whole time. I loved Amen too. Shan said I wouldn't as the mother. Gotcha. Demetrio said, hey, live, laugh, love. Hey. Yes, the Jefferson was a spinoff. That's crazy. Okay, I'm going to play a little bit more. See what else she got for her resume.
Oh yeah. Charles Dutton is such a good guy. Yep. Ella Joyce, Rocky Carroll. The funny story is that before there was Rocky Carroll, I'll give you a little insight. A kid by the name of Jamie Foxx was on the original pilot, and the show was originally called Rock and Reggie. An actor by the name of Reggie Caffey, who actually, when we did the table read, it didn't kind of work out, and Jamie was too funny. And so they had to go back into the room and come back out, and they're like, okay, everybody, turn over your scripts. This is now a show called Rock. And that's the evolution of it. And I think Jamie came back, and then Jamie lived with me on my floor because he had spent all his money and he didn't have any more money. And so he lived with me. He came back to Rock.
Oh, that's crazy. I'm gonna let you finish, but what, Allison? That's crazy. First of all, they didn't pick Jamie Foxx up because he was making them laugh too much. That's crazy. That's how I'm interpreting what she said. And then he lived with her for a while. Jamie Foxx, like that's crazy. Drew running around lying and all kind of other stuff. I wouldn't insert myself without knowing the whole picture. The younger siblings stay playing victim. Trust me. Yeah. I just don't like Courtney though, Shan. That's what it takes me back to. See, this is where it gets me in trouble because I just don't like Courtney though. I don't like Courtney, so I'd be like, well, I was already on ready anyway. Thank you for giving me half a reason. I don't like her. I don't like Courtney, Shan. You bringing reason and logic into this. I want to be illogical, Shan. General Hospital, and I think The Bold and the Beautiful still come on. Don't call me Dominique, call me. Oh yeah, okay. So, yeah. Which ones? stopped coming on because I thought As the World Turns was still coming on, and I always wondered why they kept Bold and Beautiful only 30 minutes. That was like, dang, like a soap opera should not be 30 minutes. My little brother would have me fighting all the time in my big. That's fair. Hey, Joyce. How you doing, Joyce Miles? Shan, I want to watch it from the beginning. Oh, you want to start and just see them. I like doing that too. Like, let me go back and see how you like evolve, age, the character grows, you change, who switches out to play the same name character, but that's a whole different person. I do like stuff like that. Nope, it's only about 3/4 still coming on. Wow. Oh, okay, so it's a little over 30. That's right, because it's like a weird 40-minute. I don't know, but yeah, that's weird. Bold and Beautiful was always weird and lit to me. My mom would always make me record it for her while she was at work. That was too funny. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing, but that Jamie Foxx thing is crazy.
Later on, when it was Rock Live, and so he became a staple on the show. Yep.
Okay.
There's a lot of little stuff.
This was pre and Live in Color?
Oh yeah, I actually introduced him to Keenen Ivory Wayne, and like back in the day, in Hollywood.
Hold on, I'm sorry, y'all. She didn't even want to tell y'all all this.
I didn't.
Y'all
now, Allison. Oh my gosh, y'all! You know that set off a whole culture, and he met Keenen through Allison. That's crazy. Allison is a key player. I knew she was when they just kind of slid across her resume, but this is crazy. Okay, sorry.
Living for this moment.
I want to be very clear. When I started in Hollywood, and I'm going to tell my age, I'll be 57 in January. And the Black people you see now were up and coming. They were about the struggle. You know, you see Spike Lee and Jamie Foxx, and you know, all these cats. We were out there trying to make it, and you know, we all like would eat together, and like, you can bring the potatoes, you bring the meat, because we were dreamers. And before Shonda Rhimes came about, you know, there wasn't a lot of us being represented in the network. I don't know how old the crowd is, but there were networks called the WB and the CW and the UPN, which had created sort of this platform for all minority and Black programming to sort of be housed, because the major networks weren't really looking at color for us. And then when Shonda Rhimes came about with this beautiful brown woman, you know, in Scandal, you know, they started taking a look at these numbers, and then like all this.
Come on, WB. Heck yeah. And then I love me some Scandal. My husband don't even talk to me while Scandal's on. Do not talk to me. Don't come in the same room while the show is on. Scandal was my show. I'm so sorry. I know she was problematic. I don't care. It was the drama of it all. Oh man. But yeah, I saw you said, Shan, you said, I've heard a lot of the stories about how the Black actors would all hang together back in the day. Yes, because even when I watched the Maya Angelou documentary, and I saw who all she was hanging with, I'm like, dang, y'all really was out here knowing each other. Like that is so cool to me. I think people like Allison sometimes are so humble, but I really love that 6 degrees of separation. Tell us who you know and how they got connected to this and this and this.
Reality stuff and how we're producing and show running. This stuff right now is so amazing to someone who has been in the business a long time and seen the.
Hey, P2 Ross. I don't know if I said it out loud. Hey, P2 Ross. I'm glad you're here.
Transformation in Hollywood. So I have to give kudos to, you know, a lot of the networks that are taking heed to seeing we have a voice and seeing, you know, that we have something to say, you know. So
Black Hollywood basically really stuck together, because you're not the first person that I heard say that Jamie Foxx was on the come up, and his spirit was kind of like, it attracted you. And people helped him along the way.
A lot of people helped Jamie. Guy Tori. Like, we can sit here all day and I can tell you stories of like us being like, you know, meeting at restaurants and like Dolores Robinson, who's Holly Robinson Pete's mom, was managing a guy by the name of Wesley Snipes, you know, and a lot of these people were, you know, just starting out managing. Like, I ran Wesley Snipes' company for several years. That was before he went to jail. I don't know why he went there, before anybody says anything. Uh, but yeah, he was a good guy, and all these people were humble. They were hungry. They, you know, they had these dreams, and they manifested them, you know.
That's so inspiring. Shan said Drew had some nice movie roles as a teenager. Step Up in The Game. I remember her on The Game, and I swear I watched the Step Ups. I got to go back and watch and recognize the fact that I'm looking at Drew. I forget her face for that movie. I'm not gonna lie. And I know she had a major role, were the really big ones. I never heard about music, but she did sing in Step Up. Okay. How to Get Away with Murder. I got to catch up on all the seasons, Live, Laugh, Love. But How to Get Away with Murder, I do like it. I do. I just need to get all my seasons in. And you know that Spanish girl, she ended up being in a movie with Jamie Foxx, 6 Degrees of Separation. Been in a movie with Jamie Foxx, a little vampire movie that he got out. I ain't say little, but it's on Netflix. It went straight to Netflix. It's called Day Shift. It's a good watch. It's a good watch. Like, it started out like I don't know if I can handle this movie because how it started out. It's a decent watch. And one of the little brother Francos is his co-star, like, or whatever. But it's got Snoop Dogg in there. Snoop Dogg's little black country cowboy type vampire hunter. I really like it, but yeah, that was the girl that spoke Spanish on How to Get Away with Murder, that, you know, was under Annalise Keating. Yeah, she's the lead vampire in that movie. It's really good. I liked it.
So I'm very blessed to be a part of that sort of old school evolution of it, where, you know, things were done on paper. we didn't even have, I worked at William Morris, and before, you know, we called it the super highway. Before, you know, when I was working with Wesley, we were meeting with people who were telling us, oh, we're going to be able to, you know, shoot a photo and a video and upload this. And I'm sitting there like, never, this is weird. Like, to us, it was just like, wow, that doesn't make sense. What do you mean? You know, so, you know, so we've come a long way.
Excuse me. So if you know, it sounds like you were a mover and shaker in Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well, Kenya Moore was Black Hollywood royalty. So did you come in contact with her?
I didn't. You know, that Kenya Moore is like on a whole nother. I mean, she was like a beauty queen. You know what I'm saying? And she was a working actor as well. Somehow, when you work behind the scenes, like I did, I was not in front of the camera. You didn't really engage with people in front of the camera. They were just like stars. Like, oh.
Okay, give my team 12 her props for the time she was out there. Thank you, Allison. People be trying to downplay her resume, Allison. Thank you. Drew makes me mad that she came on rhoa pretending and ruining what Allison helped her build. Yeah, Drew's going to have to go ahead and leave rhoa and get back to just acting, because when she played T-Boz, I was like, let me put some respect back on Drew's name, you know? I like that biopic for TLC. Yes. Charlay says she on season 2 of Scandal. Yes. Get all of them in, Charlay. I think I'm on season 2 or 3 of How to Get Away with Murder. I do love it, though. I do. 18 in the chat, 15 likes. Please hit the like button. Yes. Thank you. I've never heard of that movie. It's called Day Shift. And it's a cute play on words because Jamie Foxx's character, you earn more money hunting vampires at night, but because he was breaking the rules, they put him on day shift, and then also some of the vampires can now be in the day. So it's just a cute little play on words. But yeah, it's called Day Shift. Sylvia said whatever. Y'all would leave me alone. I be out here almost by myself, talking out loud. I think it's Team Twirl too when she be coming here. Friend, bye. Come on, Allison. Yes, I ain't gonna get it nowhere else.
Okay, you see them, but we were pretty much like, no, I need to go over talk to that agent, or I heard so-and-so got a deal. I heard there's a script he just wrote. You know, you were just trying to make it and trying to get in the door, you know. When Drew was young, she, you know, I was taking her all around and meeting people. She was, like I said, working the room and stuff. And, you know, she was working early. This girl has done many things since the age of 9. She's been a working actor. You can go to IMDb continuously since the age of 9 years old.
And that's due in no small part to, her abilities, but your management.
I was her manager. I was her acting coach. I was her ironed her. I rubbed her feet. We depended on each other. We called ourselves Two Girls Against the World. And so on the game, when she started on the game, that was Mar Brock, who had come to my mom's house and was talking about going to Hollywood. And so we kept in touch, and all these
Wow. The name she said Mara Brock, so it's obviously before she got married, because I know her as Mara Brock Akil. I think that's crazy. The world be so small sometimes. And I didn't like, now here's the thing, I didn't like Drew's character. You know how sometimes the character takes on the real person takes on their character? Because I didn't like what is his name? He played Ike Turner. I didn't like him again until he played Morpheus in The Matrix, because he did too doggone good a role in What's Love Got to Do with It when he played Ike Turner. Lawrence Fishburne, right? Is that his name? Lawrence Fishburne. I couldn't stand that man until he played Morpheus. He did. I loved it though. I mean, yes, Lawrence Fishburne, yes. So no, that was how I was with Drew for a while. I was like, now this don't make no sense, but I'm like, I don't know how old I was. Teenager, late teens, early 20s. I don't know, but I was like, you made Derwin cheat, Drew, Sidora. I was so mad at her.
These women who are like trailblazers, Yvette Lee Bowser, and y'all got to remember, some of these women really paved the way. I'm still in awe, still have those relationships, humble people who really did the work and got a lot of no's. We got a lot of, turn downs and passes, but you just keep going. So if anything, the differentiation between, I say, a star or a famous person is persistence, training, and humility. There's nothing else. These people are just people,
Speak a word, Allison. I'm gonna receive that. Demita Joe, this piles on to what you sent me today. But yeah, y'all, I'm sorry. I'm taking inspiration from Allison too, because I believe she believes what she says, and I feel her. But yes, persistence, because it's so crazy how sometimes it's just not your time yet, and sometimes it's not your time till later in life, and then things start happening. I think they're just supposed to happen when it's supposed to happen. And I'd rather not burn out myself. So I definitely am hoping that if there are some things that are supposed to happen for me, that it happens in its correct time. But yes, that is so inspiring. And it's on any level, whether that's at a career that you're pursuing. And I mean, like, long-term career, or your passions outside of your career. A lot of opportunities that I've gotten is because I just turned out to be more dependable than the next person. A lot of times there's people that are more talented, but you just try not to give up on yourself and be dependable. And yeah, so persistence. That's a word for me.
So
really quickly, real quick point. No, I'm actually Team Twirl. So that was not shade to Kenya. I love Kenya more. And I make Kenya.
Well. Make it make sense is Team Twirl too. Well, at least I got 2 in the room. Well, 3, because Allison said she liked Kenya too. Golly, thank goodness there's someone here for me.
Make no qualms about saying that.
Kenya's really a sweet person, and my mom loves her. Like when I met Kenya the first time, when she handed my mom a bag, it's like, "Here, mama," and I'm like, "That's my mama." And she was like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're a sister." I'm like, "Yeah." We met, we hugged, and my mom, was on the set. If you guys were watching the shows, praying with these women, and she was there before I came. So
we're definitely going to touch on you not being there from the beginning. but I kind of wanted to give people your resume. One thing that she has not mentioned that I'm going to mention, whether she wants me to or not, this is my favorite sitcom.
Oh.
Allison worked for Martin.
Yeah, I actually I produced First Amendment Martin Lawrence. We filmed it here at the Chicago Theater. That's on Stars Network. We had over 60 comedians, and yeah, Martin's wonderful guy, trailblazer. You know.
I mean, I literally every episode, every character. I was super excited to even meet Brother Man from the 5th floor.
Okay.
He was in the restaurant.
And Cole and all of them. Tommy, we didn't know if he had a job or not, but all of them were humble. Like, you know, you see them, they didn't have paparazzi. You know, back then it wasn't no social media. Mm-hmm. Remember? So they were just regular walking in the stores and stuff like, oh, hey, Martin, how you doing? Or, you know, no entourage, you just see them walking down Melrose, just shopping on Hollywood Boulevard. So yeah. So I had a good time. I lived in LA for a long time, and I learned a lot about the business. Kudos to some of my mentors there. And yeah.
Okay. So this was me forcing Allison to really give us the 1-2 of her career, because I think it's important. She has the resume that a Real Housewife would need. Not only is she connected, she's humble. I wanted people to know Allison, which was the point of this interview. So let's move on a little bit to, you had a very interesting relationship. So not only was she in the business, she married a Chicago Bull.
I did. I was a real basketball wife.
She was a basketball wife before basketball wives were a thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Technically, you probably could have been on there with Tammy, because Tammy was, I believe, married at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I do have to clear this up too, because a lot of people mix me up with Craig's first wife, who tried to set him on fire. Her name is Carlita Hodges. That's his first wife. I'm the second wife. So yeah, we were married. He and I are still very good friends. I believe that when you marry someone or you date someone and there's honest love and you have a child together, that you do whatever you have to do to maintain a civil relationship. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, these kids didn't ask to be here, you know, and we was getting down or whatever, however it happened, you know, that we owe that to him. And we have an amazing son who is the kindest. I mean, when people meet my son, Jordan, and know his name's not Jordan, it's Jordan Hodges. He's just a pure soul. And I think you have to keep the husband and the ex-husband around, because if you fell in love with them for something, there gotta be something was good, you know? And so he's been around.
I guess what you're saying, that a successful co-parent relationship, you probably would not be feeding information to a fake cousin.
Yeah.
Here MIMS come with the shade, the trademark shade, and I'm ready for it. He said, so you would not be feeding information to a fake cousin. Correct. Let's get into it. Okay, I'm looking up Craig's pictures now. I wanted to see what he looked like. I'll pull one up while she's talking until I don't know. This part might be stopping a lot, but yeah, let's get into it. Sorry, y'all. I accidentally skipped the time back. Let me find it.
You know, we depended on each other.
That she has not mentioned that I'm going to mention, whether she wants me to or not.
Whatever, however it happened, you know, that we play. And so when we got together, he wanted me to manage him. So of course I was excited, because I'm like, he was a free agent. He had been in the league 16 years. He's got all these championship rings, no technical fouls in his entire career. And I started making phone calls to all the teams, like, okay, you know, he's going to get a look. I'm going to negotiate this deal. We're going to be great. And no one called me back. So I'm looking at him like, are you who you told me you was? Because something ain't right. I'm like, ain't nobody called me back. Let me Google you, and I can say this openly because you can go to Wikipedia and we already filmed a documentary that's out and blah, blah, blah. But a guy by the name of Phil McKinney, who was the player personnel for the Philadelphia 76ers, had called us at home. He's like, I gotta call you at home. And he said, look, dude, I have children to feed. There's a memo out on you. We can't give you a look. And we're like, and I just remember Jordan was a little baby. He was sitting on my desk, rocking in this little chair. And I looked at my husband and he had a little tear in his eye and he goes, I got a family too, man. And in a moment I was like, okay, this is some real stuff. And he was the first NBA player to sue the NBA for collusion. And they did not lose, or he did not win. They said statute of limitation. So Phil Jackson gave Craig a job. And he ended up working 6 years with the Lakers. And most people do not know because this man is so humble. He sat in the locker room and didn't sit on the bench, but he was responsible for some of those earlier. He was Kobe Bryant's shooting coach.
I'd love to say Kobe.
Yeah.
After Mike,
he got rings with the Lakers as well. So I look at it as like, you look at Colin Kaepernick, he was a Colin Kaepernick. I mean, yeah, he spoke against some of the players. Yeah, when he went to the White House, he, handed Bush's administration a letter. And in that letter, it pretty much stated, look, I come before you on behalf of the impoverished and the indigent community. I have a bigger role than just to put an orange ball in a net. And sometimes we have to not speak up, at least in some of these cultures. And so that's what happened. And we taught our kid to speak up, tell your truth. Don't harm anybody, don't hurt anybody. And that's what happened. And unfortunately, that's what happened. But we're friends to this day. And he's an amazing man. He's an amazing father. I have 2 step bonus. I don't want to say step bonus sons from Carlita. And I have nothing negative to say about him.
The people are saying you're the real Hollywood elite.
Oh,
yeah, Allison was out here. I forgot I can't add a picture while the video playing. That's gonna take the video down. So that was that was silly. But it sounds like Shan. Am I getting this right? That he was kind of benched and not put out to play because he was treated like how they're doing Colin Kaepernick now, because he did pursue activism as well. So they kind of were just, blackballed him, it seems like. That's crazy. Yep, okay, he was blackballed. Okay. All right, I'll keep it going.
Oh, I don't see your comments, but thank you. I mean,
let me find that one. Yeah, C. Marie Woody said Allison.
Allison. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
So I thought it was important. Allison didn't think it was important, but I thought it was important that she kind of give us some of her background, because it's extensive and it is what
it's
Black
a lot.
Hollywood.
It's a lot more, but yeah.
Do you want to kind of start touching on like your current marriage? You want to move there?
That's a whole part 2.
Mm-hmm.
My second marriage, yeah. But I can say this: Drew's not alone. I empathize with her, and so yeah. Except I've been going through my little situation a lot longer.
Oh, so it sounds like Allison is married to a version of a Ralph. He wanted to boycott the NBA, but players like Michael Jordan allegedly wouldn't participate. The way I hear how Michael Jordan was and kind of how I still see him now, I believe it. Let me put my banner up. I believe it. He's pretty selfish. I think he's even admitted how selfish he is. Drew is a liar, but Ralph is a horrible person. Ralph to me, Ralph was already a horrible person. I don't think Drew changed him to a horrible person. I don't. Ralph stands on his own 2 feet being a horrible person. I feel like I've seen now that some stuff has come out that Drew may have blown some things in a different way, but no, Ralph is not getting away. No, I stopped being a fan because MJ was not for the people. He's definitely selfish. I saw an old clip where Michael did. I think Trending Right Now showed it to me, but they were like, if he misses one shot, he got to do like all these shots. I don't even know if he was blindfolded or not, but it was like if he misses just one shot, every kid in that crowd was gonna get Jordans. He missed a shot, and I was like, you know what? I think that's selfish. Like, come on. Especially when he never came out and spoke about how people were getting unalived over his shoes too. That was a lot to me. Like, I was like, God, I hate it. To not say anything. Okay, I'll keep going. But yeah, I'm sorry that Allison's going through it with her current husband. I really am.
I want to put out, I'm going to scroll your banner because not only does Allison have her own podcast, she's actually going to be putting out a podcast with Drew that starts this Friday. So I'm going to have this banner.
Oh, we don't know yet. We don't know when it's starting.
Oh, okay.
So don't,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Are you going to put that up? Oh God, I didn't know that.
Well, no. I'll put up your personal page. What is it called?
Yeah.
What is it? The
Brain Truth?
Is it www?
Yeah, www.thebraintruth.com. That is my podcast on mental health, which is a pretty cool story how that all went down. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to scroll that banner so that people know where they can find you. If I have a mod in the chat, please drop her Instagram.
Allison Jordan 411.
Actually, Allison, I think I can do it.
Okay.
I think I can do it. So do you want to give us a little bit of information on your current marriage, and then we can kind of move into
I can kind of tell you the story about the evolution of my mental health and how all that happened. So that I can like let you guys know, a little bit about what mental health means and why I say this so easily. So in the pandemic, I had decided to start writing a memoir of my life because everybody was locked in. So why not? And so I started just, writing it like I'm going to write a book, about my life in Hollywood and about everything and my family, whatever. And some things started to come up. Sometimes we tuck some things in our little secret places. And so I was molested at 10 by a family member, then again at 12 by an adult. And these were adult family friend. And I was in college.
I hate that that's so common, that is so common with adults having access to children. And I don't know with her mom and if she'll say or not she felt comfortable saying something, but it's just ridiculous how adults feel so comfortable violating children. Kandi should have she should have been listening to this for real, Shan. Seriously, I told you I didn't have to. I'm cool on Kandi right now, y'all. I am not feeling it. She needs to know about mental health. Right. You can't not do the work, but somebody either alerted you or something set something off to that it wasn't appropriate, whether you think it was only Courtney or you, and you don't do the work, and then you go follow up to speak on it and then still not address your role in it. Like, that's crazy to me.
Someone put a little something in my slushie, a friend of mine, and took advantage of me. And then I also was in an abusive relationship at 22 with a boyfriend who beat the crap out of me and put a gun in my head, pulled the trigger, bullet got lodged, just a lot of stuff. Now, my mom and dad did not know any of this because a lot of times we don't talk about it. We are told, like, be quiet. Of course.
Yeah, Kandi definitely should have been listening to this. Let me see where I'm at. 2337. Okay. Here's her website though. But yeah, Kandi should have definitely been listening to this. Like, come on. You just take your time on answering back and clapping back or whatever you think you're doing, and educate yourself. It's people be offering free education in the comments. Like, it's ridiculous. I feel like Allison, I was also touched by a family member as a child. I'm so sorry, Linda. I'm sorry to hear that. It's way too common. It's just ridiculous. And see, that's the thing. People aren't going to go shouting at every time you meet them. Here's my trauma. Here's my trauma. You got to already come with some semblance of empathy and sympathy to just don't let some things come out your mouth, or if they happen to in the heat of the moment, you need to be, what am I trying to say? It's almost like I'm trying to use the word repent, but you got to own up to it. You have to be accountable after you've done the thing. Like, that's just ridiculous.
10 and there's an adult, they're like, don't talk, don't tell nobody. So when all that stuff came up, I started ruminating. Ruminating means you just keep thinking about it. Like, it won't leave your brain. You're like, oh my God. And you start having nightmares. So I kept going to the emergency room. I thought I was having a heart attack. But what I was having was a panic attack because I had never had one. And so on June 27th of 2020, the hospital where I kept going had looked in the computer and said, okay, she's not going to just keep coming up in here. They, by petition, transferred me to a psychiatric hospital where I spent 19 days. And in that hospital, I think like 9 days, I was just gone because I remember the psychiatrist like, okay, so you ready to talk today? And I'm like, I've never met you before. He's like, I've been talking to you every day for 9 days.
Wow.
I immediately went on my knees and I'm like,
Wow. To not remember you've been speaking to somebody for over a week. And you've met them repetitively is crazy. I'm not saying it's literally like that. I mean, that is so mind-boggling. Like, I wonder if she has some type of disassociation and things like that goes on to cope. You know what I mean? Because I know for me, daydreaming is definitely my disassociation. Like, sometimes trending right now, he'll have to snap his fingers like, hey, come back, hey, because he says he can see it as soon as it starts happening. Because here in my house we call it drifting. Like, oh, I was drifting. But yeah, like, I always wonder, what is it like for other people, and was that a form of disassociating, or was that, is it a term she's gonna tell us what it is? But that's crazy. She's crazy. I'm saying the situation. I gotta find another word, especially for this time. But obviously, I am not saying that Allison is crazy. I use that word a lot for abnormally high intense situations, or out of the realm of what I would have pictured situations and stuff like that. But I'm gonna try to find another word for this, because I just don't want it all to be like, I'm not calling her that at all. It's like that disassociation thing. I wonder if that's what she had. I'm very curious. Okay, I'm gonna hit play.
God, if you get me out of here, and I used to not even be able to get through this story, but if you get me out of here, I'm going to commit my life to mental wellness and go on a search what happened to my brain, And so when I came out of the hospital, I was diagnosed at that time with PTSD, panic disorder. That's people who have panic attacks, and social anxiety, because I didn't want to leave the house. I think we all had that during the COVID pandemic, and depression, because a lot of times when you have anxiety, depression is their best friend. So they kind of go hand in hand, anxiety and depression. So I came home. My husband, who I'm still married to, was here nursing me to health. And then on August 21st of 2020, he literally got in a car, drove away. And I thought he went to the store, but he didn't. And so I've seen him one time recently and one other time in the last 3.
So he just left. I too, by a family member, I didn't tell anyone. My mom would have been in the clink. I was ashamed, thought it was my fault. It's never that, right? It's never the person that was violated's fault, but that's what And that's why they're referred to as predators, because they prey on fear. They prey on your innocence, your a vulnerability. They see all this stuff, because definitely it's never ever the fault of the person that was violated like that at all. And yeah, thank y'all for sharing, Lady Queen and Linda. I it's just too common. It's too common, and I'm glad. The only thing is, I'm glad in your mind you knew your mom would believe you, but you just didn't want to see her possibly, go to jail. And I don't know, did you ever get a chance to talk to your mom later about it, Lady Queen? But yeah, I hate that, how they'll trick you into thinking either the person won't believe you, or they'll trick you into thinking that they're gonna harm the person you tell. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's ridiculous.
Years. And so I believe, I don't know, and again, I forgive him. I love him. But sometimes, people, when they're confronted with someone else's trauma, they're reminded of theirs, and they don't want to deal with it. A lot of people don't want to deal with the reality of
It's till death do you part, though, Allison. That's the thing. It's till death do you part.
It is. And, I'm praying that he gets, deliverance. He's, I'm like this. My healing took on a whole evolution, and I truly believe that this is my assignment. You can talk all day about my Hollywood stuff.
Okay, before she continues, first of all, I can tell that's her passion. I definitely, I'm glad she's explaining how it's her passion, but I can tell that mental health is her passion. And I know she's not trying to tell her husband's story, but do y'all think that it sounds like he may have been violated as a child? Because she said her going through her own trauma could reactivate in him thinking about his own trauma. So now I'm like, it's something that he seems like he definitely would need professional help, because to just abandon your person because you realize that they've had a similar trauma or something reenacted in you because of their trauma means that you definitely have not been able to deal properly with your own trauma. But that's what I'm wondering now. Did something happen to him as a child? It's better I can talk with people who have or are going through this. Yeah, yes. Hey, Karma girl. How are you? Hi, Trinity. Been listening in the background. It happened to me as a child by a relative, and I told both my parents and was not believed. I go to counseling this day for PTSD. I am so sorry, Karma girl, that they didn't believe you. And I don't understand. I don't understand how parents don't believe the child. I'm so glad you are in counseling, and definitely there's going to be a circle of supporting women around you. In our YouTube family, but also I know that hopefully you have a healthy circle around you at home as well. I don't understand how they don't believe the child. And I know it seems like it's more they just don't want to believe it was that person sometimes. Well, some of them outright blame the child, but some, they just don't want to admit that the person that they love or admire is capable of that. And it's like, look, you got to protect the innocent. His trauma could have been a sister or a mom being victimized as well. True. If he was there for the aftermath of that, Shan, I could see that. And with them not maybe knowing how to express themselves, and he maybe had to kind of be the caregiver slightly, to them as well. He may have not been able to go through it again. That's fair. Yes, this person went through the same thing, but never apologized for any of his. Maybe someone in his family, a sister or brother. Joyce, yep, y'all on the same page. Sending you virtual hugs, Karma girl. My parents did not believe me either. They didn't believe you either, Linda. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And just like that, and see, that's what it is too. I don't keep the statistics in my head, but if it's a group of even 5 of us, that there's like 2 or 3 in the group, unfortunately, that story is a part of their real life. You know what I mean? Like, it's ridiculous. I'm so sorry, ladies. Apologize for your parents. I know, like, that's not that on top of everything else. Linda, I hope you have someone to speak to as well, even if it's not paid counseling, just a support group or something. It's crazy how it's it can really help. When I was an adult, I found out my mom knew and said there was nothing she could do about it. Oh no, Karma girl. I won't say the name because I don't want them to have to relive it if they play this back or whatever. But someone else had shared their story a few weeks ago, and they were saying that the family was protecting the person that did it because they got a government job. And I'm like, that's to this day, my grands don't and can't stay with anyone but me. Lady Queen, I feel you. I feel you. I think that's, if I had children, I'd be the parent that I'd be a fun mom, but on that one, I can't help you. No overnight stays and all that. I'm sorry, and you'll thank me when you get older and realize why. When somebody else in the family might unfortunately come tell you a story about somebody, because it wouldn't have been you. But yeah, I don't think I'd be an overnight stay parent either. I don't think so. Thanks. That's what counseling is for. And I have a supportive husband. Oh, I'm so glad your husband supports you. 32 years. I'm so glad, Karma girl. Joyce said, I'm so sorry. Hoping all have constant support. Yes, I concur. Ditto to that, Joyce. Okay, I'll keep Allison going. See, this is what I'm saying. Thank y'all that said yes, you wanted to hear Allison's story. Because that's how we're able to hear this and kind of comfort each other right now. So thank y'all that say, yeah, you wanted to hear this story. Sorry, y'all. I gotta find the place. It went back on me.
Rings, no technical files in his entire career.
Have a mod in the chat.
I was just gone because I remember the psychiatrist life, and I don't think that I would have gotten the healing that I have if my husband was still in the house. I mean, we weren't in the greatest of places. He, was a serial cheater, and he, did some things that wasn't appropriate. And so I think we have to remove some of the dirt in order for us to see ourselves. And I've done my whole life. I ran my dad's medical practice. I managed Drew for 30 years. I ran his company. And this is a season
You've
of
been
me.
in service to others.
Yeah.
Without even
I was a habitual people pleaser. And a lot of our trauma is how we are sort of reacting in life. I may not have known some of the things that I did back in the past because I did not know that I had these things tucked away.
I just wanted to say this too. I was wondering if Allison is somebody that can fall under high functioning anxiety. And when she said people pleasing, I totally get that. I get so scared about offending people and things like that sometimes I bite my tongue when I really wish I hadn't, or like just, I don't know, just do some things that I wouldn't have done if it was more about my self-care than the other person being happy and stuff like that. But I now look back at anybody, first of all, anybody with a type A personality to me, and I mean like in the sense of they just do a lot and they are on point on everything. I worry about them now. I never now just see a type A personality. And you know who I'm talking about, those overworkers, overachievers. I don't see them now as being okay. I'm always worried about them now because every time, now it depends on when it's going to come out, but it usually happens that they're not doing the best on the inside. You know what I mean? So I do worry about usually people that are overachievers. I worry about them. I really do. The ones that they say check on your strong friends and how do you put it? I just know that high performers don't always so far, I don't know if any high performer is okay. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know. That's correct, Trending. The constant working is usually a substitution for something. Yep, Shan. Yep. And I definitely just when I was still a supervisor, the high performers were the ones I checked on the most. One, because that was me as well. And I would do that. And I feel like I think I've gotten better at my current job. I think I've finally gotten better. But it is so hard not to people please and not to do way more than is asked of you, and just be comfortable with just allowing some space for yourself. Hey, talking out loud. I was speaking about you earlier. Are you team twirl talking out loud? I know we got some things that Kenya done, but I just mean overall you team twirl. But yeah, high achievers, check on the high achievers. My husband is the reason why I told, and yes, this helps many people. We don't know, so thank you. It feels good to talk to someone who really cares and supports, that lifts you up. Flowers for all. Yeah, yes, Lady Queen. Couldn't have said it better. That's the same. My husband, he wasn't there for stuff that went on in my past, but boy, do I feel like I have plenty of support in my present because of it. Definitely. I'm team twirl all day, every day. Okay, so it's me, you, Mims, and Allison. That's all we got right now, talking out loud. But no, Allison's been really sharing and talking about how her passion turned in, how she had a passion in mental health. She just was saying her husband kind of left in the, I'm going to pick up some cigarettes type thing, and then come back after he was kind of helping her after her mental recovery, so that's where she's kind of at, and talking about how her passion developed and about some things that happened to her as a child and then in college and stuff like that. Yeah, live, laugh, love. I got I got 3 virtual and me sitting here. Thank y'all for liking the video, by the way. Thank you.
And so you see some of these people, a lot of people are, I'm going to be honest, there's 55 million people that have mental illness in this country, and there's much more. Those are people that have gotten diagnosed.
I was
There's
about to
some
say,
people
what about
because of the stigma that won't. So you can see a lot of people, and you're like, okay, so she gonna need a mental health assessment, And so that's where I am with that, with my husband. Again, I don't, I haven't had a conversation with him. I've been on this healing pattern. Again, we can have a part 2 on that.
No, definitely. And also that's why you have a podcast talking about it. That's why I'm scrolling this banner, so people know where they can find you after the interview.
Because so the podcast evolved from that. The podcast was, again, came out of nowhere. I was covering for a friend at iHeart. Then this woman, this is like a real true story, okay? I covered for another man's podcast. He's been on the air for 10 years. Very good podcast. I was like, I don't want to do it. I don't even leave my house. He was like, you gonna do it? And so he said, you can interview your mom. So my mom came with me, and a couple of friends came the second week. I felt comfortable, but they said, we love you. We love you. You're amazing. They took me in a room. The marketing people were like, we want to offer you your own podcast. I'm like, no, I have social anxiety. We in a pandemic. I'm going back home. I'm getting back in bed. My husband left me. No. And they said, well, there's this man that kept coming up to the station from a psychiatric hospital who wants somebody to do a podcast on mental health. And I was like, oh, well, and something said, what, let me ask, what's the hospital? And they said, the hospital I was in.
That was your moment.
Look at God. And I was like, oh, and I looked straight up and I said, it's me. That's me. And they wanted to sponsor it. Guess what? They are official partner. And I'm going to just give one more bit of transparency leading up to the Real Housewives thing. So I started doing this podcast. They're my partner. We're rocking and rolling. I have many shows. Go watch them. They're amazing. We talked about some really profound stuff. I became certified. I'm QPR certified in suicide prevention, and I'm a mental health first aider. And I sit on the board of the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And so I'm deep in this stuff. This stuff to me is right here in my heart. And I was triggered because it's, mental health is not linear. Okay. I was triggered by some photos that this woman that my husband is currently talking to had posted. I guess she wanted me to see it. I don't know. And I kind of was like, okay, and I kind of just played it off and I kept working. Luckily, my producers on my podcast are psychiatrists, psychologists, my faith mentor, Prophet June, and they kind of got together and was like, did you get email 3 a.m? No, I got one at 4. I got 1 and 5. You know, they did a kind of like a mini intervention on me and like.
Okay, I'm gonna let it rest. I don't know why it's buffering. At least it's pausing some on my end. So hopefully, if I let it rest for a minute, it'll stop doing that. That's interesting. That the the psychiatrist came from the hospital she had to receive help from. Like that's very interesting and definitely divine timing. And reinforcing she's on the right track with her purpose. Like that is so that's just a beautiful thing, because sometimes we need more than one type of confirmation and things like that. And I think that's beautiful. StreamYard, yay, StreamYard. I'm so tired of StreamYard. Okay, I ain't gonna say too much because I need y'all to keep going, but let me get my timestamp too. I try to write it down now when I pause because the foolery is real over here with StreamYard. But yeah, that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Okay, let her go.
We don't think you're sleeping, you're working a lot, what's going on. And that's when I just broke down and I didn't know that it had affected me in that way. And so, you know what? I started I felt myself going back, getting a little teary eyed and feeling depressed. And okay, so I dealt with the past trauma, but I didn't deal with the current trauma. So
okay. How many? Okay, first of all, let me acknowledge Sylvia's comment because this is the truth. MIMS is a good interviewer. This is the second interview I watched of his. The first one I ever watched was when he interviewed Kiki. I sat through Kiki's interview. I actually felt bad for saying, she took a long time to get to points on other stuff, but she did really well on his interview. And I think that's also some credit to him, the environment he sets. I'm glad of the questions that he has. He seems prepared. Yeah, just because you need a good interviewer as well to really get the quality out of the person being interviewed. Now, some people, they're just good and they'll just take over and go. I think Allison would probably just be, she seems like, that's her thing. Like that's how she got probably to help Drew get her parts and things like that. But will not take away from MIMS getting his flowers on this. This is a really good interview. And I was going to say, when she was saying she didn't even realize she was going through it as she was in it, that's a big thing too. That look back is crazy. When you're sitting there still doing the high functioning part, you don't realize you were going through it until you can't anymore. You kind of, like she did, she broke down in tears for her, but it could be a different kind of manifestation in other ways for other people. And that look back is crazy. I love MIMS. He's really good at what he does. Yes, I appreciate a good interviewer. I need to feel like you care when you're interviewing. I do. Whether you care because you're about to be entertained, if it's that kind of tone, or you care because this person's about to really get vulnerable with you. I need you to be engaged in the interview. So yes, Joyce, Sylvia, yes, I agree.
I called now my friend who's the CEO of the hospital, and I'm like, I'm coming back. And so I self-admitted, and she gave me a private area, and I spent 25 days in November of 2023. And when I came out, Drew was like,
2022.
2022. Okay. And Drew called, the family would meet. Drew was, I think, filming at the time, and she had to stop and see me in the hospital, and she was coming on these family Zooms. It was a really hard time. And to see me like that, because, I had a therapist who told me, anxiety, that hoe don't like you, and that bitch depression, that be with her, they both want you dead. And I was just like, these hoes, they are really coming for me. And so I was really struggling because I was not leaving that hospital until I knew that I could deal with so many different adversities. And when I was ready, I stayed there. They were trying to kick me out after like 15 days, but I was like, I'm going to go to art therapy, and it's not like what people think. It's not like one flew over the cuckoo's nest. We're not all in there walking around bouncing our head up against the wall. It looks just like a sterile, it kind of looks like a college dorm, sort of. You have your own room. You go to like a room, you can play art, you can do art therapy, you can do music therapy and listen to music, you can dance, you can, have talk therapy.
It's important to say that everyone's struggles are not the same.
They're not the same.
Everyone's struggles are not the same.
My diagnosis is probably around 70% of most, I'm not bipolar or schizophrenic or bipolar 2, but we have different departments there that are for more of the extreme ones and things like that. Because we're going to talk about, those comments about what's normal looking and all that. The brain is in your body, just like your heart, your kidney, your liver, and brain health is just like physical health. When you go see your doctor, your PCP, they should be doing brain assessments. You should get a brain scan like you get a heart scan, like you get an EKG, because your brain is the tower to the body. And so when I came to Atlanta, pretty much just to kick it with Drew, and just to relax and be with my niece and nephews, and my mom was there. I ended up one night, they were like, well, do you want to record since you're in the house? And I said, sure. Yeah, I guess. And so I told the story I just told now, just like I told you on the couch with my mom and Drew. And that was the first time that Drew had actually heard those details, and my mom. And those, when people were like, those are authentic scenes, because they were authentic scenes. We were really there. And after that, the producer came out and he was pretty much like, wow, thank you. And I felt like, this is my opportunity. I said that I wanted to normalize this conversation. This is a platform, and this is my chance to talk about it normally. And that's what I've done. That's what I'm going to continue to do, and to continue to educate people who are ignorant about mental health.
Oh, we're getting closer to talking about Kandi and Courtney. For those of y'all that got to see that episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta, I know they had to only show a snippet, but do y'all feel like they showed I don't know how to describe it, a fair part of her story, in the grand scheme of how rhoa be, they show stuff. Did y'all get to see any part of her story in the episode? I just want to know, how did they portray it, because I didn't get to watch the later episodes. I've been trying to keep up on so many things. I was like, I came back for the reunion, but I didn't watch the episodes. But I'm hoping, the more and more I hear Allison's story, I'm hoping that they showed some part that was a significant part for her. Yes, Kandi definitely needed to watch this interview. And since it came out after she did her recap of Speak On It, was it with her DJ A1? I don't know, but with somebody, I need her to watch this and come back again, because you need to be educating yourself and understand, because Alice, I know, is going to address her comments and Courtney's comments. I need her to come back after this and say something. Yes, Sylvia. Once Allison sat in her true truth and got the support she needed, she became a real overcomer and was destined by God to do what she is doing now. Good for her. Yes, Joyce. 18 likes, 20 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Thank y'all. Hey, Miss Main Event. Thank you for joining us. This has been this is more of a healing moment than I thought it would be, Miss Main Event. And just it's a safe place. And I'm just appreciating it. And we're loving Allison's interview so far, Miss Main Event. You might have been in the bushes. You might have already been listening, but I'm glad you came in the chat, Miss Main Event. It's good to see you. Okay, y'all, I'll keep playing.
I've actually, when Allison and I talked, I told her the crazy part about this situation was I had just told my subscribers that YouTube can't be a business for me yet because I'm not there. I'm in therapy and I'm working on myself to be my best self and recognize those things that I do, because I haven't been diagnosed as a people pleaser, but I really do feed into other people, sometimes at the detriment of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, y'all, when I started getting into Mims's channel, I saw that in him, and I don't know how much he carries it over to doing it in his channel versus what he means in his actual physical life. But I could tell by how Mims he is very fair and considerate, and he tries his best to just give his take on something, not trying to offend anyone, and just trying to come from a place of honesty, observance, informed. And I'm like, I think Mims struggles with people pleasing, and I think it's because I see it in him because I know about it in me. So I'm like, ooh. But yes, Mims said a word. I am at work prepping one of my warehouses for year-end super cycle count. Ooh, woo. In other words, in the bushes. Yes, Miss Main Event. Ooh, I've had some of the, we never called it super cycle count, but I've had some end of year inventory days. Oh my gosh. Good luck, Miss Main Event.
And I don't have that self-preservation tool. Now, that does not mean that my charity work, because that is really what feeds me. I definitely get something from service to others.
Yeah.
So Allison doesn't know this yet, but next week I will be doing a fundraiser. A friend of mine, I can say it now.
Okay.
A friend of mine who's a content creator, his friend was murdered. She's a Black woman. She had 3 children, and I'm going to be doing a fundraiser. I've already started reaching out to some donors. I have a goal, but I told Scotty, let's not do it this week because he's still grieving the loss of his friend.
Yeah.
But I will be doing a fundraiser next week where we will be raising money for those 3 children. Because to lose your mother, and it was of no fault of her own, and there's DV in the situation, and it wasn't even her DV. It's deep, it's heavy, but this is not about that. I just wanted to say Allison and I have some similarities, and when we were talking, we realized that. And
I appreciate your being authentic about it. And again, I'm like clap, commend, because if you start that normalization, that's what the people who are afraid, that are sitting at home, not thinking that they can come out and say it because they've been shamed. That's what it takes.
Trust me, I have people. I do a lot for a lot of people. I'm one of those people who I'm more logical than I am emotional. So what happens is people feel that energy and they utilize me. But what happens is they're not asking me, am I okay? How did this
exactly?
That's the problem. So
they don't.
There it goes. Asking the helpers, are they okay? For real. Yeah. Even as a helper myself, I have to remind myself to check on people that are helpers, high achievers and stuff, because the person that's like that, if you don't consciously think about it, like time goes by and you don't realize that they needed something as well, because they don't usually say it. You got to kind of pry it out of them, So yeah. And also I think why outside of how I am with y'all on YouTube, I am more of a loner, because I'd rather just not let anybody down, also not get taken advantage of. So you just kind of just keep a super small circle, like actually like where you see somebody and I don't know how to put it, but you like really know things beyond the surface about them and keep in contact and things like that. Yeah, Joyce, you were here. Yes. Check on your helper friends, your strong friends, your high achiever friends. Like just like you would check on the ones where they're more able to make it known that they need help. So you're already checking on them because you already know they need help. Check on the ones that don't say anything. And then if you're the person that's not saying anything, go back and refill yourself. Pull back, take care of yourself. Shoot, like Melody says, when you pull back and you're kind of silent, you kind of see how people, act after you've gone silent, Hey, Mary White, I had a cousin who was touched and did more to who touched and did more to my older sisters and cousins when they were younger. And my oldest sister still has issues with it. And when he passed away, she was elated. And that's sometimes death is the only thing. And that's, I'm sorry that happened to your sisters, and your other cousins, Mary. Yeah, sometimes, man, I'll say this, and then and let me tell you what's really, really a mind F. This is the mind F. They act like nothing happened. They just move on and act like nothing happened. And that is crazy to me. And I mean the predators when I say the they that act like nothing happened. And I'm like, I don't understand how they function. I don't get it. But yeah, thank you for coming into the chat, Mary White. Okay, I'll keep it going.
How to ask us, so they don't. And here's the gag. The people that are in therapy, like us, are the person in the room that are the most alert. I don't want to say sane, but because we processed it, because I know my boundaries, because I'm assertive and no longer aggressive, because I've been able to process it, I have the tools to know how to ground myself, or, we're the person in the room that's more alert, that can pay more attention, and that's what therapy means. Everybody, I said I want a podcast, get into therapy. Everybody, it's not anything bad. It's like somebody who don't give a crap about anything. They're just there to help you with your brain, help you process stuff. They don't have nothing in the game here to gain except to get you well. And so people need that one person that has no bias, no nothing, just sitting, listening, who are trained to say, nope, that wasn't right. Nope. Because sometimes we do stuff and we think we're doing the right thing and we're not. Right. We're saying the right stuff and we're not.
Or we think we're doing the right thing, but it's not the right thing for Allison or I. It's the right thing for everybody else around us, but not necessarily us. And that self-care, self-love is very important.
Self-love, honey.
And you can feed off helping others, but there needs to be a point where somebody picks up the phone and says, brother or sister, what do you need?
Check on them strong people. Check on us.
Yeah.
Look at all the suicide. Look at Twitch. Look at all these
don't say
people.
that word.
Oh,
YouTube. We just say like unalive. There's a couple words.
Unalive. Yeah. Yes. And we don't even say the word commit anymore. Just unalive. They did not survive their mental illness.
So
here we go.
Let's get into it.
The water.
Let's get
not tequila.
Well, no, I have some Casamigos.
And we're gonna get into that because Allison ain't on no dang on medication. I'm trying to find out who got hold of my medical records to tell me or tell people what the heck I'm taking. Yellow. Okay, I'm sorry.
Go off, Allison. Get in their behinds, Allison. I find myself falling back from people without saying a word. I hate being around large crowds. I hate attention being on me. Talking out loud. Oh my gosh. I wish I could tell you how oh man. I get you. I definitely get you. There are times because I've had to adapt to large crowds that I'll function for a while because I've had to go, you got your commander's calls, you got mandatory events, you got certain things to where it's like, okay, I think I don't know. And sometimes I feel like I want to have a girlfriend's experience, like the show Girlfriends. Like I want to have that sometimes, but more times than not, I'm very glad I almost just don't have that many people around me too, because it rarely seems like it turns out that way. Outside looking in, looks really nice, but self-preservation kicks back in. So I'll want it, then I don't want it, but yes. And then the attention being on, I got you on the hate attention being on you. I get that. I bounce back and forth, but not. I don't know how to explain it because sometimes I do there's certain things I like that naturally make you stand out, but it's like I honestly like these things. It's not that I need someone to tell me that they see me doing those things. But yeah, that I feel like I have a portion of you and me talking out loud. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I can definitely feel you. Oh, you are a Leo too. Yes, you are a Leo too. I gotta start remembering that. Yes, and thank y'all for the support in the chat for each other. Please, let's get in their behinds. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, hold on. I don't want to see my personality won't allow me. I don't know why. It's probably some hurt from somewhere, Joyce. Burn me once, not burn fool. As I'm saying, fool me once, but you get burned once, once bitten, twice shy, all that stuff. Yes, you may be triggered at any time, any place, person, or someone speaking. I'm a loner too. To this day, and don't trust easily. Low day for me. I needed to hear this. I'm so glad you were here then, Lady Queen. I'm a loner myself, not like to be in a big group of people. Wow, Karma Girl. Y'all, yes, both of my older sisters are Leos. Joyce is a Leo too. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all. I'll hit play. I hope they about to get into some behinds.
No. This is okay. So I kind of want to start when we're getting into this. Let's start with Courtney. I took umbrage initially with this. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna show it.
Okay.
But we'll be able to hear. You can react. Then we're gonna get into some things, people.
Okay, let's go.
We have over 3,100 people in the chat. Definitely hit those like buttons. It helps.
Hi, everybody. Sorry about my background. I tried to fix it. My light is too bright.
No, you look good. You look good. Okay. So I'm going to share this. So we are not going to see it, but we are going to hear it.
Hear it? Okay.
Okay.
Texas. I know that Ralph has a lot of the discovery.
What do you mean Ralph has a discovery?
Like when you're going through a divorce, you have to provide evidence, and it's called discovery. And I know that Ralph feels pretty confident about the discovery that he has. I have pictures of them on my phone, but I wasn't going to say that on camera. Y'all shouldn't leave me in there with vodka that long. Now we see why.
Now, maybe that's somebody who should not be drinking, right?
What did she say? Something about vodka?
Yeah, you shouldn't be leaving me in here with vodka this long. Maybe.
Oh, so we was drinking a lot of vodka. Okay.
Maybe it was projection. Let me go ahead and put this allegedly banner up. Yeah, maybe that's somebody who should not be drinking. Just my opinion.
Allegedly, yeah. Yeah.
Why she was pushing so hard for that adoption. Because she was like, adopt this child so I can go be in my gay lover relationship and you pay the bills. Well, I have.
Well,
you want me to start or do you want to start?
You, whatever, however you want to do it.
I do not ever think that anybody, because your nephew is underage, nobody should be putting that out into the universe. First off, just my opinion, because I'm going to call it like I see it. Your nephew does not want to be on camera. He is now on camera because his parents are on a reality show. Part of their storyline is Ralph adopting him. Whatever Ralph's feelings may be, to share that with Courtney, and then Courtney to bring that to the cameras so that someday, or maybe even now, your nephew will hear that, to me was absolutely disgusting.
Disgusting. And I said, when I first heard it, was this girl don't have no friends. She don't have no real friends, because if you had real friends, they'll tell you to go sit down somewhere and shut up.
Facts. Where are her real friends? Because no, they would have told you, look, have you not seen how the other women come on these reality shows? Don't be going over there picking up nobody else's mess. Stand in your own mess if you have some. Like, for instance, was Courtney going through a divorce, or she was divorced? Talk about that. Talk about your business. But what she did was unnecessary, but I obviously she did it because she wants the peach. She seemed like she was trying out, you know, like they were trying her out. They gave her a lot of time. But yeah, who are your, and I know people like her, even if they have real friends, they not go well. If they have real friends that will talk to her straight, they won't be around her long because they'll see that she don't never listen to. So yeah, I don't know if she's ran off the real ones in her life, but same question. Where are your real friends? Okay, I haven't heard this before, y'all. This is my first time, so I don't know what's, you know, coming up next. So I'll hit play. Let me find this timestamp. Okay.
Put the shovel down. You know, if you, and she's on this like rogue tour of just running her mouth. So let me just quickly, because again, I don't want to spend a lot of time on my nephew either, because he's going to see this and I don't want to have to perpetuate it. But first of all, Ralph, he has his last name. He always talked about adopting him. He took his last name. His name is Josiah Pittman, you know, and they even shared the story of the father, the birth father. They put it on the show, you know. It was a touching story, and they gave their all to this. So it was no question that he was going to adopt. He started writing this so-called book that we can use. I don't know, it's toilet paper, but
yeah, let's go ahead and get on to Ralph, since that's where she's going right now. Okay. Welcome back, Professor Demeter Joe. 23 likes, 25 in the chat. Please hit the like button. Thank y'all. How do you, and did y'all see the tweets that he was sending out? Sorry. Did y'all see the tweets he was sending out talking about at one same message? He's like, how can I adopt your son or Josiah, however he said it, if his actual father wants to be active in his life? But then at the end, he says, respect the father in me, or something weird Ralph put in his message. But then it's like, yeah, no. Don't try to not claim our child when you wanted to go out and write a whole secret book that you didn't even tell me about our said child that's known you since they were 3 years old and has your last name. Like, just say you knew you were on your way out this marriage, because for all intents and purposes, as the mom, of course, I would think you're adopting our young son that really basically only knows you, and he don't even know how to talk to the dad that's in prison. It was awkward that one time I watched it. I knew then Ralph was up to something. Drew should have took note and moved of course. Yes, at that time, there's because you using my child. His message was right if that was the case. No, Shan, he switched. He kept going. He can't have it both ways in the same message. You got to read his tweet, Shan. I'm liking this interview, but I really don't like Drew or Ralph. Oh, we don't either. Well, I don't. Talking out loud. I really don't like Ralph. Drew, and I'm pretty sure had I finished up the episodes, I'd even more probably not care for Drew either. But yeah, Drew been catching up in too many lies herself. You cannot attempt adoption and write that. Oh, are you saying like if he's going to be writing a book like that, he should be attempting adoption? Like it would make sense for him to attempt adoption? I want to make sure I understand. Courtney is Ralph's side chick. It's a strong possibility. I say at the least, Linda, this is where I stand with it. At the very least, she's attracted to Ralph because they're not related by blood from the way they explained it. It's like they're related by marriage as cousins. I think she's attracted to Ralph. If they haven't actually done anything, Courtney's ready to sop up any words Ralph says like a biscuit, because I feel like she's attracted to Ralph. And if Ralph may be also attracted to Courtney. I'm not taking that away. But if not, he at least knows he can use her as the mouthpiece because she is ready and willing to be a mouthpiece. Talking about I don't like them either. I didn't finish my sentence. The second comment was the rest of it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay. Courtney is not Ralph's side chick. She's trying to earn a spot. Both can be true. Now, I'm not saying she is the side chick. I don't know that far. I just don't know. But I do think Courtney thinks Ralph is an attractive guy, and it's maybe easier to buy into what he's saying. I feel like it's something there. I ain't saying they went anywhere with it, but did you notice Drew's mother's face during that episode when Ralph was talking about the adoption? Ooh. In this season, I didn't notice, and I multitask a lot. So even when I am watching, my eyes aren't always watching too, though. That's the problem. I agree. He is using her for a mouthpiece. Yeah, because she's a good one to have. She wants the attention, and she already, of course, she's. It's weird to side with Ralph because if Ralph and Drew separate or divorce, Drew is the housewife. Ralph can go. So it's like, I mean, I guess that's why she butted up to Marlo, helping her clear her record and stuff. That'll be, I guess, her or whoever to stay. I don't know. Okay, let me see. I'm not taking Ralph's side, but Drew was letting him do too much on national TV without making any moves. I agree to that. Drew allowed a lot. She allowed a lot as well. There were so many red flags. If you just look at the red flags related to the child, there was a lot of red flags. I don't know, Drew. I don't know, girl. Okay, going back to hit play. If they haven't done the business, it won't be long. Oh, talking out loud, you think it's coming? Hey, Louisiana Chick 318. Hey, look, Louisiana Chick 318. That's not only Shreveport, but I know about that area code though. Yes, Barksdale Air Force Base, go. I believe cousin Courtney and Ralph are kissing cousins. I won't be surprised if she and Ralph come back as a couple next. Oh God, I'm about to throw up in my mouth. Where's the throw up emoji? Joyce says, Shan, I agree. Linda agrees with talking out loud. It's coming. Oh, I'm gonna throw up in my mouth. Oh, guys, no. Oh, I said I at least believe it's a possibility. I'm not completely convinced, but I am convinced that Courtney would be open to it. And Ralph, I mean, he's a dirty dog. He'd probably be open to it too. Louisiana Chick said, hey, love, Shan. Hey, Louisiana Chick. I can't see Ralph choosing her, though. She doesn't have money. Ralph wants limelight, too, though. So he might trade her not having that much money for if she can keep the limelight going. Okay, let me keep it going, y'all, because this interview still got some time, and I don't know how long y'all going to be willing to stick with me. So I'm going to keep it going. Another cold slop in Martell situation. Dang, Mary. Okay, here y'all go.
Anyway, he was writing his book. And so for her to have this inside information, she don't got nothing. I'm going to be real. First, let me just say, Courtney Rose, keep my nephew's name out of your mouth, or any child. That's below the belt. It is representing the character of who you are. And as we were talking about mental health, you can go to thebraintruth.com. I have all kinds of resources, and maybe you may just need to talk to somebody or get some type of evaluation, because that can't be a sane person to talk the way you're talking about a child and about anything that has to do with his life. Disgusting. When Ralph talked about adopting him, then he recanted that. So and Drew has money. She don't need nobody to be adopting her child for nobody's money. Drew's been working since the age of 8, like I said earlier, 9. She doesn't need it. They're called residuals. She continues to work. She's got a movie coming out right now with Lil Wayne's daughter. She's got a television series she's getting ready to work on. I mean, the woman works.
And the Past was good. I watched it.
Oh, and The Past. Yeah, y'all check out The
today.
Past. My sister's an amazing actor. She was trained on stage. I trained her. She's had many other coaches and trainers. So we don't need Ralph's money. Okay. And so
Okay. Y'all putting in some hot stuff in this chat. Okay. Talking Out Loud said Ralph has money. I thought Drew was a broke actress. I thought Ralph was broke. I ain't gonna lie to you. I thought we were still trying to pin his job down like Tommy. Talking Out Loud, so I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't think Ralph was the one that had money. I am not gonna lie to you. Honestly, Drew made her son a storyline, so the adoption is open game. Now, the adoption may be open game for the show because Drew did talk about it, But I'm inclined to believe Ralph did push for adoption and all of a sudden pulled back. I don't know if he actually pulled back because he spoke to the dad that's in prison or what, but I do believe Ralph initially was pushing for adoption. I don't think Drew has money. And why is Courtney getting all the smoke when she wouldn't be saying this stuff if Ralph didn't tell her? That's the thing. That's why you can't be going and speaking for people, because who do we keep seeing? We keep seeing Courtney. Okay, that's why Ralph still needs is in my mouth still being held accountable. Courtney needs to sit back, stop being his mouthpiece, because you can't go along and say these things. If Drew has money, why don't she pay people? Well, who else didn't she pay besides that chef/nanny? Because I don't know what was going on with that, but does Drew not be paying people like Sheree? Drew has a long list of credits. She's not broke. Okay. Ralph never spoke to that man. We need to ask phone calls from prison if they can get these so-called phone calls that Ralph had with that dad. Ralph has been doing some pillow talking with Courtney allegedly. Allegedly. I think Drew was pushing for the adoption. I'm sure she definitely would have been enthusiastic about it happening, but I feel like he pulled the rug out from under her. I don't know. With the way I see Drew, and I really see her again this time, because the first time when she was calling, who was she calling, a Jezebel spirit and all that stuff, I know now that Drew does put 20 on 10, but I feel like Ralph was, I don't know, I feel like he pushed it too. Y'all are not, okay, Ralph been texting Marlo to say, see, I don't see it with Ralph and Marlo, although they've been texting. And again, I said a piece of me thinks that there's space for it. I think there's space for it. Ralph is pillow talking with the side mouth Courtney. I'm leaving space that's possible, but I think I know Courtney's being his mouthpiece, and it's not to me, it's not just a cousin connection in the sense of like Shan, how you said you and your cousins gossip because you grew up with your cousins, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you meet a cousin in a year and y'all just start gossiping about each other's stuff. I don't know. Isn't Courtney from Florida and that's where Ralph went and got loose? Oh, Lord. I think Drew wanted the adoption to make it seem like she is perfect, in my opinion. Dang, talking out loud. And I love your thoughts talking out loud, because I do think you're a very thoughtful person. I'm side-eyeing Drew on my own anyway. I definitely just don't like Ralph for sure. That's why I be so heavy on Ralph. Courtney is the coleslaw of Rhoa. Marlo about money, so I doubt Ralph is banging Marlo. Gosh. Thank you. Yes, you are. You're so. And okay. Talking out loud as a content creator, y'all be getting so caught up. Talking out loud as a content creator. If Live Laugh Love is in here, she is also a content creator. So yes, they had. And talking out loud be putting it in with Martell, and she calls coleslaw yuck mouth. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. Okay. All right, y'all. And she had some coleslaw popsicle sticks one time on her image, which was hilarious. I didn't necessarily grow up with them. I was away in the military and other places, so they talk to me because they usually want me to say or do something. Got you, Shan. Got you. But okay, I know you didn't grow up with them. Fine. Okay, let me stop, because I'm going to tell you what. Courtney's not, I got a lot of smoke for Courtney like I got for Ralph. Ralph is not innocent in my eyes. And I don't know. Courtney's just, I don't, for whatever reason, she's so gung-ho to do it. She is, and I don't like her, and I don't like it. Okay, let me see where we're at. Okay, I'm keep going.
So that statement alone was idiotic. And I do want to say this. Ralph is coaching her because he was trying to coach me. When I was in Atlanta, he was trying to coach me to turn against my own sister. Can I drop this mic? No. Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. Ralph seemed like he be coaching people to get them to say what he wants, and he be testing them out to see if they gonna do it.
Tell us more.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Okay,
so
so
he
the
found
Casamigos is flowing. So let me just say this to you. On
he
this
found the right
channel,
one.
we have a good time. My issue, because I've already told Allison, when I do my reviews, even my favorites, you know, I'm judging what I see on screen, and I don't care. I'm going to say it. I did not particularly like Drew. I did not like Drew because of Ralph. I always felt like from the moment that we found out that Ralph was in Tampa and nobody in his family knew, I was thinking either this is the worst way to start your housewife's career, or you are really married to a trash box. This is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so I technically did not really start giving Drew a chance till it was announced that Ralph was going to be gone. That's my God's honest truth, because I'm not a fan of Ralph.
Ew, remove that.
Ralph is sharing. You know, I think he has like an apron line or something like that. I never really gave your sister a chance because I did not like Ralph.
So she got hated by default, huh? Well, let me tell you something, you know, and this is, my sister and I, we have worked together for 30 years. She has fired me many times and I have quit. Like, you know, I'm not saying stuff because I'm her sister. I'm saying things because it is true. And when I think about their relationship, I think about my mom has said something to us as girls, because they, you know, my parents, and the reason I'm really talking to, because as you know, my father just passed away, which, you know, is very hard, because our father was literally like, we all were daddy's girls. And Drew's having a tough time. I mean, we're grieving as a family, and then we have to deal with this stuff on top of what she's going through. And thank you, God, for having me go through it first so that I can stand for her. And so with regard to Ralph and all the stuff about whatever this person knows or doesn't know, Drew and Ralph, and I can't talk a lot. I don't want to say a lot about the marriage because, you know, they're going through a divorce right now. But I can say this. My sister protects her husband, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? My parents have been married for 61 years. My mom has said, we've been married for 60 something years, I think 61, 62. And that means we've been through some stuff. Well, she said the other word before she was a pastor. We've been through some SHIT. So ain't nobody out here been through anything more than what my parents have been through. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say the stuff that Ralph is on, but you keep, you know, I come from a generation where you keep your stuff in your household and you try to work it through. You're in counseling, you're in prayer. My mom is in there staying at the house, praying with you. And when he went to Tampa, I was on the actual phone with Drew and my mom was at the house. This is not for show. This wasn't anything that they planned, you know, it really happened and it really was hurtful. So she was like, I think he left. Where did he go? And, you know, and then he didn't come back. And so she, you know, she has kept a lot of things close to her heart, close to her chest, which a wife does. You know what I'm saying? You know, with her marriage. But as stuff started coming out, and he started getting on camera saying, God knows whatever, and just whatever. It was like after a while. And then people started saying, you know, I don't know if we want to get into, you know, why people have this disdain for her. She lies. I'm trying to figure out where's the lie. I don't know. Can anybody tell me where any lies are? Like, I heard people saying she didn't really break her leg. She really did. She really got injured. I was managing her when somebody knocked her down on stage and she had her Achilles. Then she broke the other one on camera. I was, when he went to Tampa, that wasn't a lie. My mental health, she wasn't using me to exploit me. Let me get this straight. I was on first season, boo-boos. I had filmed with Drew first season. I was actually on some of the FaceTime stuff with her. I was making phone calls, but I wasn't in a mental state at the time to really put my mental health story out. So they actually deleted me out of the first season. So I was there. She didn't have to exploit me. She was concerned about me. She was like, look, you not, this ain't sounding right. This is not going to work for you. And so she was with me for 3 years in my mental health. She doesn't need to exploit me. I'm a grown woman. I am here to tell my own truth. And so where's the lies though? Give me one. Just give me one. Give me one. I'm waiting.
So I feel like
this is probably the only part when she said, "Where's the lies?" that, you know, because Drew's done some lying. Oh man, Drew has done some lying. But it's good to know that she's been with Drew since her first season. Hey, Live, Laugh, Love. We was dropping your name in here. Live, Laugh, Love. Talking Out Loud to Leo too. You probably already knew that, and I know she's told me before, but my memory be just whatever, you know. But yeah, Drew be lying. Drew do lie. I like Allison though. It's hard to believe her about Drew. Now she's got the big sister / big sister mom eyes for Drew though. Drew is not gonna ever do no wrong in probably Allison's eyes. You know what I mean? It's hard to keep track of Drew's lies. Yes. I keep getting phone calls. Got you. Speaking of phone calls, Live, Laugh, Love, we got to listen to the next phone calls from prison for Cheryl Strawberry husband. They dropped another one, Live, Laugh, Love. So we got to listen to that. Drew lied about dating the king. I was out the door then. There's the I kissed the girl, I didn't kiss the girl. Oh, here we go. She ain't gonna listen. She sound listening. Okay. Maybe Allison considers it fabrication instead of lies. Joyce, and that's at best. Joyce, I'm telling you, she might not even see Drew lying, period. Like not lying. I feel like Allison, that's her baby. And you know how it is when somebody's your baby, you just don't see them. You just like, no, that's not what it is. Exactly. That's why I don't believe her. I'm going live at 7 to discuss Live, Laugh, Love. Okay, you know I'm gonna try to join if you still on when I'm off. You know I'll be trying to be over there. Okay. Dang. I wonder if they'll let us do reactions, like let us play the call as long as we break it up and stuff, because that's how I really want to do it. She's not going to put Drew on blast. No, not at all. Okay, y'all, I'll keep going. Golly, Live, Laugh, Love. I want to be there.
Now, this is not Allison saying this. This is how the straight shooters do.
Okay.
I feel like there was a push from Ralph to secure the spot on the show, and they came in as a team. The problem was, in my opinion, Ralph diverged.
Well, I mean, she wanted to support her husband. That's just it. Drew, if you really, really know Drew, and she's got real friends and her family. Drew's one of the sweetest people. Like it'll take a lot. It took a lot from being attacked constantly. You know, anybody that knows us in Hollywood who have worked with us, they love us. I mean, the brand for some stuff we're doing, they used to call us Two Girls Against the World. We was just me and her. We get on the set, we pray before we eat. We pray in our trailer. We keep to ourselves. We get out there. They call her Two Take Drew. She does it the first time. The second one's for safety. You know what I'm saying? She's professional. We were just on a meeting with a network the other day, and they were just like, "Oh my God, we love you guys." But this show, and you can see me on there. It gets you to places you didn't know you could get to. And having your household, and your husband going rogue and saying stuff on camera and just doing stuff privately and leaving. And you're still dealing with real life though. Like, you're seeing 1 minute, but we're dealing with 24 hours or however long. And so unfortunately, these people that are saying, well, she's a liar, she's this or that, a lot of stuff wasn't planned. It was, okay, we're together. We love each other. We're going to do this together. It's about family. We didn't know he's going to go to Tampa and not tell nobody. We still don't know what a nigrand was. You know what I'm saying?
Allison, do you know what Ralph does for a living?
I know that
Okay, before she answers that question, what do y'all think Ralph does for a living? Talking Out Loud says she caping. Yeah, she caping for her baby. Talking Out Loud. She sure is. What do y'all think? Somebody said something in tech. That's all I keep hearing. He do something in tech. Oh my gosh. What does Ralph do? And she's about to say all I know, which means it's still a little sketch. He's like Tommy from Martin. Exactly. He doesn't have no job. Okay, let me keep going.
He worked for Google. Was it Google? I know he's in the tech business. I know that. I know that he works in the tech business. I know he does some really strategic stuff where he has to sell to corporations about the advancement of technology. Like, it's not like a Tommy situation. He does have a legitimate job. You know, he's always, I've seen him in meetings, on Zoom meetings and stuff. He really is like working his butt off. Like, he does something. It's just too advanced. It's above my pay grade. I don't know a lot about technology.
Allison, you just ran down a whole resume. One thing that I always picked up on, this is just me, this is not Allison speaking, was when Drew would say he's in tech, he's in tech. Typically, you know, if you're like an investor, like Tanya's forever fiance, or, you know, like, you know, Kandi's husband, he initially worked in production. Then we found out after they got married, he was the OLG was his brainchild. Kenya Moore's husband owned a restaurant, and you could find it.
Right.
I found it very interesting that once Drew was actually away from Ralph, she was like, I technically can't tell you what he does. That to me was a sign. I look at things, I connect the dots. And, you know, I'm always a person who, if I feel like you're a fast talker, right off the bat, I have my boundaries up. And, you know, Ralph could be a perfectly nice guy.
Okay, so he does have a legitimate job. Again, Drew is a wife. You know, she is, and the Bible said she's submissive to her husband, and that was in order. And so a lot of things, because he lives and works in a corporate environment, you know, some of the stuff that he was doing in the reality space, you know, he probably, you know, it just doesn't work. I have family members that don't want to be on this show because they work in corporate America. And so there's a little different kind of vibration than if you work in the entertainment industry. So a lot of things that Drew would do was just to protect him. And he has had a lot of different jobs, but it's always been in tech and it's always been in sales. We just don't really know, honestly. And not to say that he doesn't really have a job, you know, we just don't know. I mean, and me personally, I don't really care.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it was
as long as he's taking care of his children, as long as he's taking care of my sister and treating her well, that's where I do my litmus. I don't have to know your resume. I don't have to know your bio. I ain't got to know who your boss is. But are you a upstand dude and doing what you're supposed to do as a husband and as a father? I
don't think feeding Courtney. We were supposed to go another route, and we were going to end with Ralph. But since we're here with Ralph, from my vantage point, just as a viewer, because I'm not in your family, I felt like Ralph stayed. Now that I know, or now that I personally think Ralph has fed Courtney a lot of the ins and outs of his marriage and divorce and everything. Allegedly. I feel like what happened was he stayed in the marriage, fed adversaries everything that he wanted them to know about Drew. Then after the season was over and everything was filmed, he filed for divorce. That's just my opinion.
No, he had all talked about divorce way before they started talking about it on the show. He told me. I remember being somewhere and I was crying like, don't divorce. So he's been talking about it. He's a very strategic dude. You know, he does stuff. I remember calling Drew when she was on the set.
Oh no. See, that's the thing. That's the thing, Allison. If they want to leave, let them leave. Talking about don't divorce. No, Drew will bounce back. She could have bounced back. Let them go if they want to go. She was trying to protect him. He's a kept man. That's why Marlo says she in tech, like, right. Oh, no. Yes. Oh, let him go, Allison. I wonder which time was that he tried to leave. Oh, no. He could have gone. Okay, I'm going to keep going because I'm trying to make up some time.
Doing the past and telling her that, and I shouldn't have, but I was in the house and I was just seeing things that I did not like. And that was like what he said, he banned me from the house or whatever, is because I saw him day one. I see you. We see each other, you know what I mean? And so I was there like, oh, hold up now, Horseshoe. And he had moved out of the bedroom. Like, it was like for no reason. They didn't have a fight, nothing. It was like, bye, babe, see you later, because he's strategic for whatever reason. And so I called her and told her, I was like, girl, he done moved out the bedroom. She was about to do a scene and she was like, oh God, I gotta deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I felt so bad, you know, but it was just stuff that he was just doing and antagonize and just bully. And, you know, it just be like, it's insane. Like, I've not seen that. I mean, narcissism behavior. And it's just, I'm just going to protect whoever, whether it's my sister or anybody. With
So
regard to Courtney,
specifically, you don't know anything that you particularly said to get you banned from your
except
sister
that
and
you
Ralph's home.
manipulative and you're a narcissist and you controlling, dude, and chill, like whatever. And he just didn't like it, or me protecting my sister way before there was an Atlanta Housewives. You know, they've been together 9 years, you know, they were living in Chicago, not far from me. And I come over there and speak my mind. And so that's just who I am. And that's who I'm going to be. You're not disrespectful, because I think somebody said that I slammed the door in his house. You ain't gonna be slamming no door. I didn't even slam a door. I don't even have that many doors, but you know.
Okay, Sylvia, good question. Why try to convince your sister to stay in a bad marriage? I think they must war with their super religious background, because isn't their mom like a pastor or something? I think they war with that to the detriment of their own care. I think. I don't know. Maybe his ways came out more later. I don't know, because she's definitely like not here for Ralph, but there's times that she was like, stay. Now Allison's starting to get on my nerves. Oh no. But it was due to fail. He is not the average ninja. I know.
I was respectful, but I mean, we're family. We should be able to talk and say, look, you know, I didn't like the way you said that, or I don't like the way you did that. That wasn't cool, bro. You know, I got brothers, I got uncles, I got cousins. You know what I'm saying? My whole family witnessed it. My sister, they all have something to say. I'm just saying it here because things needed to be addressed. Now, I do want to talk about this Courtney really quick, because I don't know how much time we have. But
No,
Courtney,
we're on your time.
we're on your time. Is not his cousin. And I don't know when they cooked this up or how they cooked it up, but she is an unverifiable fake cousin Courtney. We're going to stop calling her cousin Courtney. She's unverifiable fake cousin Courtney. I met her when I got to Atlanta.
Hold on. I didn't know that we were just going with fake cousin Courtney. I thought it was through a marriage or something, but I didn't know we can't trace it, period. Oh, snap. Okay, she's going to talk about how she actually met her the first time. Okay.
Me and my mom, we went out with Drew, and she said she wants us to meet Ralph's cousin because that's what he told her. And so we like, hey, cousin, you know, and we were at this club. She was, you know, like, I'm like, you know, she was telling me she was already a housewife. She was telling people that was sitting next to them that was asking for pictures from Drew. You know, oh my God, you're Drew Sidora. They're taking pictures. She was like, well, I'm on a housewife too. Who says that? So I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a housewife. So we were trying to introduce her to this dude. I don't want to say who that is, but he had no interest in her because he probably saw something, the glow. I don't know. And so we kicking it. We thinking she's cousin Courtney. And so after we leave there, that's all we know. And then I didn't see this broad again until like, I don't know, another event. I don't even know. Like, I think the Peach Social or something. I don't know. I ain't never been around her that many times. And so all I know is we went down to UG, which is North Carolina, where Ralph grew up, where they claimed first, because the stories have changed, the evolution of the cousin tree. that they were cousins. So me and Drew, specifically me, went around to all the cousins. Hey, nice meeting you. Oh, so y'all know cousin Courtney? And I showed a picture. We don't know her. Who is she? What's she? Well, who her peoples? You know, and they trying to go through the lineage and asking all these questions. I don't know. And nobody, listen to me. He lives in his little bitty town where everybody walks with no shoes and they go from house to house. How don't nobody know you? Okay. And that's where you say you were. So that was the first red flag. Then when we met at the club, she was telling me she knew all these people in Chicago. Like, I have a lot of friends that are owners of this and that. And she was like, oh my God, girl, I know her. Oh my God, girl, that's my family. This. So we were like jamming. Like, oh my God, you know my friend Melody, you know my friend Charmaine, you know my friend. I was going down the list of all the bad bees in Chicago. Like you in my circle, like, oh my God. So I was texting Melody Winston, who she said she knew, and she said I could say her name, who her daddy married, because she showed me a picture. And I was like, okay, I was texting her. And she goes, no, don't tell her yet. I don't want her to know because, you know, I don't want anybody to know.
Oh, red flag, red flag, red flag. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is hitting too close to home on this part. Wow. Oh, I don't like Courtney. Oh my gosh. Okay, I know they said a lot. They said a lot in there. Okay. And I was thinking Courtney's story changed on how they were cousins, just like Kimmy's story changed on how she met Maurice. That's what I was thinking when she said the story changes. Yeah. Oh man, the family's going through the lineage and can't nobody come up with the connection. Okay.
Okay, that's your family, that's your girl. Okay, so I just stopped, went on about my business. Now, it wasn't until she called Drew or we found out about the bitch that she said Drew was. And then I asked her and she said, so people who are listening and watching, as I heard some comments too, that, well, everybody calls everybody a bitch. And then Ralph said, well, you called her a bitch. First of all, now y'all know if I called my sister a bitch, the opportunist would have already said that a long time ago. Mr. Out there want to run his mouth would have said that because his whole goal is to break up me and Drew's relationship. That was a goal from the beginning. We were too close and I was in the way. It's a Lifetime movie. And so, no, but my point is when she called her that and then she said she didn't, and then all this drama and all this, she started coming after Moneta at the My Health retreat. That's when I started looking at her a little side eye. That's when me and Drew were like, there's something a little weird about this. And we started piecing stuff together. I started calling everybody in Chicago and I started being like, okay, so do you know this girl? And so they would go to her Instagram, go through us. I'm like, nope, don't know her, never seen her. Okay, check. Next, check.
That's the same thing Kandi did before she was even on the season.
Don't nobody know her. Unverifiable fake cousin Courtney. So that's who she is. So her talking all this smack about, oh, me and my mental health, and she was going to stay away from me. And girl, stay away from me. Again, I have therapy. I have tools. I can help you. Like, I need to stay away from anybody that would speak on anybody's child, anybody's husband. We need to stay away from you. And I particularly don't want to stand next to you because somebody going to throw something at you and it may miss you and hit me. So that's the real gag because you have a problem. You're not his cousin. And speaking on somebody's marriage, I've known, what was the other one she said? Did we play that one?
I can play that one. Hold on.
Yeah, we got to get that correct.
Rav basically, Drew brought up the whole conversation about the bitch, and Rav basically said, well, plenty of people don't call you a bitch. So once again,
True.
Ralph was taking up, but for you more than was taking up.
Because I have been a better friend to Ralph in these last 6 months than Drew has been a wife in 8 years. Period. And I stand on that.
I stand on that.
I would
You're
never do
standing
things
on that.
she's done to him and try to make him seem like this horrible narcissistic husband when she's just been playing this whole victim role, trying to intentionally create these storylines that make him look horrible. Like, that's not okay.
You could tell at that point that Kandi was uncomfortable. Like, you could tell Kandi was uncomfortable with that because cousin Faith had came on here and said something. I'm sorry. I mean, cousin.
Okay, for those of y'all that saw the Kandi interview, do y'all think Kandi was uncomfortable at that moment? I'm already kind of upset about the other thing, so I done colored how I done seen the interview. It's too late for me. Do y'all think Kandi looked uncomfortable there? I hate the B word and don't ever call me that. It's not funny. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to recall. I don't really feel like anybody really says that to me. I'm probably situational, but I don't know. I don't think I like it. And I'm probably, you know what? If I let it pass, it was the people pleaser in me, probably. Let's be honest. That's probably, but I just can't recall the last time someone may have tried to do it. I think I'm always on guard to please ask somebody, like, let's not do that. Cause then when you get mad, I don't know, now you know, so let's just not even, but I don't remember if anybody has done that. Like, I don't know. I can't recall, but yeah. Trending Kandi wasn't uncomfortable, and I don't travel in any circle. I just see a lot of Courtney videos. Gotcha. You know I be messing with you, Shan. I got smoke for Ralph. I don't. You know how you be telling me to breathe about Ross? I got the same smoke for Ralph. I promise you. I do. It's not Courtney standing alone over here on this side. I'll tell you that much. Oh, Courtney thumbnails. Gotcha. It's circling around with Ralph right now, but it's more the adoption side of it probably. But yeah, it's circling on Ralph. It's circling back to him. Y'all said no, not at all. I got you. I don't go around saying it to people either like that. Yeah, I don't say it to other people either, but I can't remember. And I think if I let it slide, it's probably the people pleaser in me. All right, we'll keep going. But yeah, I was like, I didn't see Kandi necessarily looking uncomfortable to me.
Courtney. I mean, cousin Courtney. Courtney.
We ain't calling her cousin Courtney no more. We changing that.
Cousin Courtney.
Stop calling her cousin Courtney. She ain't nobody's cousin. We changing that. We don't even know if she Courtney. Like, we got to keep doing research. I don't know. She ain't cousin Courtney. Sorry.
I was uncomfortable with that because they share a child, even if they're in the midst.
Can I say this too? Here's the thing too. Although Ralph is putting the battery in Courtney's back, she didn't have to let the battery work. And here's the thing. She is unfortunately being the face out here saying it. You know what I mean? That's the other reason. It's like on that platform, she's the one that keeps saying it out there too. So it's smoke for both of them. But I think it's like, oh, line of sight, here you go. I'm going after you right now in general. That's what I think was going on with Courtney. They not good if they don't know who she is. I know, Shan. I was trying not to say nothing, but I'm like, see, what's going to happen is you're going to be in a rabbit hole again. That's what's going to happen.
Of a divorce, they share a child. And for me personally, I'm more logical than I am emotional. I'm working on that.
Logical.
Although I'm not a crisis manager, for me personally, the statement that she made and multiple other statements that she made, she would, in my opinion, tell her clients not to say that. So the fact that she was there so flippantly saying such derogatory things, it was like a PR nightmare. Like, who does that? I
don't know, because we don't know who she is. She could be an alien. I don't know. I mean, who says I've been more of a friend to your husband? That's her. At the end of the day, whether he's a narcissist, a jerk, whatever, that is her husband. That is the father of her children. And you ain't nobody's nothing. I never seen you at no barbecues. You ain't send no flowers to my mama and my father died. You ain't send no condolences. How is you more of a friend? Ralph was at the funeral. We didn't see his friend. Where his friend was. You weren't there. He was holding our hands while we cried, grieved over my father. You don't, my niece and nephews don't know you. Don't nobody know you. So, but who would say that? Who would say, and I stand on that? You're standing on that? Oh, baby, you're going to fall. Because that's not solid standing. That's shameful, shameful, shameful. And Kandi, if you were feeling uncomfortable, I would have never posted it, because I heard it was posted and then it was taken down. If you were already there and you heard it, I would have just not posted it or deleted it or edited it.
Thank you. Okay. I was waiting to see. Yes. That part, the last part towards Kandi. Exactly. But she doesn't see she did anything wrong. That's why she needs to go back and watch Allison's first, 30, 45 minutes part of it. She needs to go back and watch that. There were so many times. Oh my gosh. So many times, Kandi. And then also striking at least one YouTuber's channel that we know of, which is, that really, really got to me on that one.
That's my opinion about that.
There were some comments made that you wanted to address regarding your mental health and alcohol.
She said something like, I was drinking tequila. Where? And first of all, let's just get it straight. I'm not on any medication that interacts with alcohol. Secondly, 73% of Americans that get their prescription drugs, either OTC, over the counter, or from a doctor, you shouldn't be drinking alcohol. You shouldn't drink alcohol with an aspirin, with an ibuprofen. Every alcohol is not good for nobody. But I don't have anything that's going to interact, that's going to make me go crazy, manic, or anything like that. You have no place to tell anybody or spread that kind of dialogue about people and mental health. What does mental health and alcohol have to do with anything? There are people who are really struggling with alcoholism. It's a real situation. I was not diagnosed with alcohol. I don't even drink like that. So for somebody to say that, I saw it. And then she said something like, I tried to stay away from her. For what? Like I'm some kind of diseased, crazy zombie in a straitjacket? That's the problem. And that is why some of us cannot speak openly about mental health, why there's a stigma that's rapidly growing. Not only did I make a statement, but the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which is the largest grassroots organization in the country, made a statement about you, Courtney, that we're going to post. And because when you talk about numbers and how many people watch this and how many people are on Kandi's platform or whatever, this platform is bigger and more important than any other platform. We are talking about people who are struggling with suicidal ideation. If this was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I had to be confronted with this nonsense, I might have relapsed. It may have had a negative effect on me. Some people use alcohol as a coping mechanism. I never used alcohol as a coping mechanism. I use the Bible. I use my family, therapy, walking, meditation, and so
and service to others.
Yeah. We have to be careful when we say these things and we stigmatize people and we label people that that might not be their thing, but it could be someone else's thing. And so when they hear that, they're like, oh God, that's my thing. Oh God, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say, you're reckless. You're reckless. So yeah, that's my point on that.
The alcohol thing, what got me about it was she said that someone from Drew's camp had told her that they got you basically liquored up and sent you to get her. And I'm like, you don't know.
Wait a minute.
Woman's
got
diagnosis?
Me liquored up to send me where?
To send you after her, like at the reunion. Like her specific quote was that someone from Drew's camp had told her that, you were drinking the tequila and they sent you after Courtney and she did not want to be seen fighting the mentally ill. And that's where I was like, oh, lady, you've gone too far. All the Ralph
I never even heard that one. First of all, this was like in the morning. Secondly, nobody sent Allison nowhere. Nobody had to send me anywhere. I was leaving off the stage. I think Drew had just went back on stage and I walked with her or something. And I was walking back. And that's when I see unverifiable fake cousin Courtney come out of her little dressing room and walk into Ralph's dressing room. Now, mind you, Ralph wanted to come on the show. We really didn't know why he was there. We were hoping and praying as a family that he was coming there to make amends, to make an apology, make things right.
For those of you who don't know, this is Ralph.
Yeah. So I'm just minding my business, going back to the room, walking down the hallway, and here I see her come out of her room into Ralph's room and like hug him. And it was just a weird, like eerie type. I felt like it needed theme music. I don't know. And I'm just standing there like, what is this?
Boom, chicka, boom, boom. Like
more like a haunted house or something. No, so I just saw them like hugging, and I didn't even see the cameras in there. Like the cameras were like in the room over to the side. I guess they were about to do a scene. I guess, their whole purpose of being there was all about Drew. Thank you, Drew. My storyline, Drew, because that's their whole thing, is how we're going to get together and get more camera time, I guess. I'm going to be your cousin. But she picked the wrong team. She should have just stayed the cousin, been with Drew. She could have been a friend of the show. We could have kicked it. But she went on the male peach holder. You know what
That's my part. Now, I know Allison going hard for Drew, but I still think that's a weird strategy that Courtney's going more on the side of Ralph than sticking with the one that may actually keep a peach. And Courtney may want Drew's peach, but it's just weird. The husband ain't going to have no peach. So that's weird.
I'm saying? So she's
somebody's picking up your catchphrase. Unverifiable.
That's her
fake
new
cousin
name,
Courtney.
everybody. UFCC. Ooh, UFC, something. I don't know. But anyway, so I just was walking by, and the person that I am, I can't sugarcoat nothing. I was just like, what the hell is going on here? Like, this don't look right. And she went to try to close the door. And I was like, don't you slam this door on me. And then she called me a B. And then it just got, I can't account for what happened after that. I don't know. That wasn't planned. Nobody sent me to do nothing. I didn't even know the girl was there. I just saw this weirdness in the room, and I had something to say. If my mom
tried to shut the door in your face.
Yes. Because I don't know if, from what I understand, she said that they were getting ready to film and they told her to. I don't know. I didn't see the camera. All I saw, all my eyes were pointing to was Boo Boo 1 and Boo Boo 2. That's it. And I'm like, why
Allison,
are y'all in here? Why are y'all hugging?
That doesn't make sense to me.
They're
about to film. What they would want was the confrontation. That's why that confrontation made it to air.
I didn't even know it would make it, because Andy had to come out and push me. I was like, I was in a blur. I was like, oh my God, I think I messed up. I hope I didn't get my sister fired. I felt kind of bad. I had to call my mom. I had to call my family, like, oh my God, because like, this is real life. This isn't, I'm not trained to be no reality star or nothing. I'm a sister looking at my brother-in-law and his fake cousin Courtney chick, who called my sister a bitch, who at the time I didn't know all the other stuff she keep doing, hugging and cooking up something. What is happening here? That's what happened.
I told you.
I believe she did see red when she saw that. I definitely believe it's real to you, Allison, not those other people. Right. Allison was feeling her real feelings for real. And yes, talking out loud, Destiny Jr. Yes. And are you talking about Courtney as Destiny Jr.? Because that's who I was thinking. Let me know, because I was like, yes, Destiny Jr. Okay. It's almost done. It's almost over. When I hear them wrap it up, I'll cut it off from there. But yeah, they're almost done now. Oh, yes. Good. Yes. Destiny Jr., Courtney. Yes.
Y'all, I'm a good judge of character. And I told y'all that Allison Jordan was this. I said it on the Shade, I think on Neighborhood Talk, and everybody agreed with me.
Don't buck, because if I nut, then we're going to have a problem.
My light, wait a minute.
I told y'all.
It's getting dark. Let me turn on a light or something. I'm sitting in the
told
office
y'all.
and the window is getting dark, and I'm okay. I had to turn on a light.
Allison was about that life. We do have almost 4,000 people in here while she's getting her light set up. Let's see where we are on likes.
People got questions or okay.
Allison.
It's getting dark up in here. Okay.
Okay. So
are they talking about me? What they doing?
Okay, I'll stop it there. There weren't many questions possibly, but y'all can go back and I put the link in the description box so you can see the original video easily if you want to go back and hear the questions that they asked. Sad Drew then dragged her sister into that mess. Yeah, and you could see both Drew and Allison both were still hoping Ralph was gonna come and apologize. And I'm like, that's all it would take. He could apologize, and y'all still would be on board with Ralph. I'm telling you, that's that submissive. But okay, y'all, lesson learned. So next time I do a watch along, I'm gonna have them sped up 1.25 to 1.5. So thank y'all for sticking with me through the normal pace of it all. This was my first I cannot get my words out. This was my first live watch along where I had not seen the footage before and we got to talk about it in real time. I enjoyed it. They are delusional. Ralph is trash, right? There's nothing to wait for him to come back to do. No, it's it. We're done. Let him go. But yes, so no, the reunion filmed after they filed for divorce, I think. So I was gonna say, did they run after the reunion? But yeah, y'all, thank you. I think this was so good. Thank you for being vulnerable in the chat, for sending encouraging words to the ones that got vulnerable in the chat. This was really good. I pinned Allison's website in the chat in case y'all wanted to see her website and her upcoming podcast. It looks like she'll be having. But MIMS, shout out to MIMS. Great interview. Make It Make Sense. Great interview. Yes, it was really good. Yes, I definitely want to do more of these. Not always an interview. It won't always be a serious topic, but this was like a test run. I enjoyed it. Thank y'all for interacting with me. So it wasn't just kind of dead over here. But yeah, shout out to a great interview. Allison gonna ride for her sister. But yeah, thank you, Allison, for coming out and speaking your truth. Yeah, but I enjoyed y'all. We gotta hop over. I'm gonna hop over to Live Laugh Love's channel to see her talk about these phone calls from prison. That'll be the next one. For the lunchtime tomorrow, unless something really, really pops off, we might be listening to the phone calls from prison with Cheryl Strawberry and her husband. Because the last two, I see Steve Harvey name in the title. So we can do those and yeah, get back on schedule tomorrow because I don't have to go in the office tomorrow, so I can have my lunch at home. All right, y'all. So Allison definitely rode for Drew as she should. Thank you, Shan. I know, right? Yes. I know. Shan gonna call out the truth, but you see she ride for her sister. Really enjoy. Oh, thank you, Joyce. And thank you. You stayed from beginning to end, Joyce. Yes. Thank y'all, Professor Demita Joe, listening to me in the car. Thank you, Linda and Shan. Talking out loud. Thank you for coming in and giving us your really thoughtful insights. Ms. Cheryl Tuff, I know you started out with me. Lady Queen, thank you so much. Mary White, thank y'all. Linda, thank y'all for being vulnerable. Karma Girl, thank you for being vulnerable and allowing us to show some support to y'all. But yeah, everybody that either came in the chat or just watched, I appreciate y'all. Really enjoyed this. Definitely we'll be doing something like this again, but I'll speed them up next time. Just slightly speed them up just a little bit. All right, y'all. I'm gonna play the music so we can go over there to Live, Laugh, Love and see what you guys say about these calls. And I'll see y'all tomorrow for Lunch Break Live. Bye, y'all.
I've been taking my time, taking all of your time, I've been taking my time, taking all of your time, I've been talking about it for a while. Before we take a chance and do it, before we looking back as foolish. Talk about it for a while. Before we take a chance and do it, before we looking back as foolish. We got me floating, and I can take it. You got me floating, and I can't take it. You got me floating, and I can take it. You got me floating. I've been taking my time, insane.